projects.
Well, hello gearheads. Welcome to the Blind Mike Project, a show where Blind Mike gives his fire hot takes on podcasts, comedians, and internet weirdos. Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike, including shows like Why Are You Laughing and Who Are These Socials. The Blind Mike Project is also a podcast, so get it wherever you get your podcasts. And now your host, a man with a sixth sense for comedy, the one, the only, Blind Mike Geary.
I like that Ron Howard doesn't pretend to know the show. That's kind of nice.
I couldn't even have told you who that was.
That's Ron Howard.
Because everyone's like, why is he at the beginning of Why You're Laughing?
Well, Arrested Development, of course, you know.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Guys, good news, Craig's back.
Hey.
Craig did this very subtle thing before the show where he's like, he acts like he's all disoriented. He's like, he's looking at the chat and he's like, what is this? Oh, good news. Craig's back. What does this thing say?
That's so...
Hold on. What is this? The show's not worth watching without Craig. What are these guys talking? Mike, do you know what they're talking about? I haven't been on in a few weeks.
That's not what I said.
Why are they saying I'll throw away my computer if Craig's not on this show anymore? What is this? What are these? Craig's like, I can't figure out what everyone's saying.
Go either way, you know?
No, everyone's very excited, Craig. But here's the thing.
That's not true, though.
As Craig keeps telling me, everyone's very excited. But here's the thing. Now the Daylords revolt, you know?
Every week.
Like every week, we're like, where's Craig? Where's Craig? Now the Daylords rise up, and this is where Craig starts to get hate. So there's no pleasing people.
That's true.
And then
Daylords is a way better name, too.
People, I think Craigophiles is pretty good.
No.
It's fitting because, tell me if I'm lying here, Craig. But like, there's a lot of discussion over who knew what when it comes to certain creeps in the Dabbleverse. I'm here to say guilty as charged. Tell me if I'm lying, Craig. Before the show, Craig says to me, hey, sorry if I'm a little distracted. I got a bunch of monitors up. I'm watching a bunch of these kids.
I said.
Did you say that or not?
Not in so many words.
I got a bunch of kids I'm looking at on these monitors, so I'm sorry if I get distracted. That's what he said to me.
I said I have my kids this weekend.
Yeah, that's what he calls them. My kid. Yeah, no.
My two children.
Oh, it's a slow week for you. Have you missed this, guys?
Have you missed this? I can't wait to get to this fucking guy I only know by name later on, because imagine if these jokes are coming at him.
Oh, God. Craig would have a lawsuit against me.
Yeah.
We got a lot of topics to get into today. It's very, very exciting. I feel like there were a couple things I wanted to address up front, but I guess I'll just say go to blindmike.net if you'd be so kind, because that's where you get all of our podcast links, wherever you get podcasts. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and not just this program, but also Why You Laughing and Who Are These Socials? Why You Laughing with a great episode this week. I'll tell you, Blind Mike Project fans may miss Craig, but Why You Laughing fans say, get the hell out of here. And let's listen to some educated men, Kirk Minahan and Jeff D. Lowe, on Why You Laughing this week, talking about Saturday Night, the, in my opinion, wildly inaccurate movie about Saturday Night Live. So that was a lot of fun to talk about. Check out that episode. And we've got a bonus episode coming tomorrow. I will announce some sad news with the Patreon. Are we never going to be able to watch Quincy again?
It's not looking great.
Guys, we did a sort of an emergency, a Clug emergency on Patreon this week. the link for Quincy is down. We can't find anywhere to stream these episodes. We're on season 7, episode 22 is where we left off with Quincy, and we're at a loss. We can't find them anywhere to stream. So we literally might have to buy the DVDs and copy the episodes.
The only episode I have that we could watch right now is like season 8, episode 6, and I only have it because Plankton Rules doesn't.
And I don't want to jump ahead, so
Yeah.
we can't do that. So if you guys can help us out, find us some Quincy episodes from where we are, season 7, episode 22 and beyond. That would be greatly appreciated. But there will be a bonus Why You Laughing Up hopefully tomorrow night, and get all your bonus content and early access to shows. If you're a member on Patreon or YouTube, become a member right now. If you're watching live, we have gifted memberships, all that good stuff. So we appreciate you supporting the program. Also, go to HackRideTheDemon.com. HackRide's got a live show tonight. He's too busy for this show making that album, but
He's got that album.
I notice Eric the Midget gets all full attention still. No, did I see something? They're taking calls tonight on Unboxing, Eric?
Electra's in the chat, so maybe she can enlighten us.
Electra, clear that up. I think they might be taking calls, so you're going to want to watch live for that if that's the case. Or I'm lying. Who knows?
Just had a dream about it.
We're head-to-head against the Patriots, by the way.
Yeah, I don't care.
Aren't they up 7-0?
The last I checked, there was no score, but Drake May was looking great.
Oh, good. All right. Well,
Crazy when he has time in the pocket.
Go Pats. Keep us updated on that score. Let me know if anything changes.
I will.
It is. That's how I wanted to get into sports talk radio at a time. And now I'm literally doing a show where I'm going to talk about Rob Saul instead of watching the Patriots.
Drake May went
my life has changed.
8 for 10, 87 yards and a touchdown on the first drive.
There we go.
That's pretty good.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He might be.
All right, let's get right into this because I was on a new show called This Little Piggy this week. It was my first time ever on, and I don't think I needed to be. I was very confused. So Carl texts me maybe Friday afternoon. It was pretty close to showtime. And that he usually doesn't do that. He usually gives me at least a day's notice if he asks me to come on. And he says, hey, I know it's short notice, but could you do This Little Piggy today? If you don't know, This Little Piggy is a show where, similar to Point Dabble Point, they have a round table discussion about Aaron Imholt. So I said, sure, I would love to. I assumed someone bailed and they didn't have enough people on. And I quickly realized that wasn't the case when I saw the lineup was it's Carl Moody, who's a regular host on the show. And the first thing he says to me is, he goes, I watch your steel toe stuff and literally nothing else you do. And I was like, nice, thanks. Why am I here? Hey, everything you do is horse shit, but I tune into some of it. Oh, thank you. Good to be here. And then Adam Bush, who's on, it seems like a nice guy. And then Geno Bisconte comes on. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to speak on this episode. I was like, fuck, why did they ask me to be on? So I was listening to Carl from yesterday. And I realized, I think what happened is Geno said he didn't want to do it. And so Carl was like, God, we need another voice. So he asked me to come on. And then Geno came on. Geno was like, oh, fine, I'll do it. Even though no one was really begging him. But I didn't understand this. Here's the problem, though. Like, you can't really fight with this energy because if you call Geno out, he'll go, yeah, I'm crazy. You know, which I think is a good quality in someone.
Yeah.
If you're like, Geno, what the fuck are you talking about? He'll just go like, you're right. I'm an idiot. So it's hard to really get into an argument with someone like that, but I thought this was unhinged on the show, and I didn't understand what I was a part of, so I wanted to address it real quick. So we have Geno going nuts on... So he was very subdued early on. He wasn't really talking at all. But then out of nowhere, he kind of launches into this. So the discussion preceding this is basically... April being a victim, and Geno's on a rant of what a bitch April is, and she's manipulative in her own right as well as Aaron, blah blah blah. And then Moody makes a point, and that's where we pick up here.
You can. I think it's.
By the way, hold on one second. I should also say this clip is from our friend Doom. This is how convenient.
This is Doom.
This is Doom. Everyone, calm down. But I wanted to say this is how convenient Doom makes things. I was on the show and know exactly when this happened, and I still used his clip just because it was more convenient. So thank you, Doom.
April, she does plenty, and she said plenty to make someone not like her. But she can also be a victim at the same time. So,
Moody, how many times have you hung out with April?
I've never hung out.
Shut the fuck up, Kiwi. That's
right.
what you do. That's it, Moody. You're like, I think, shut the fuck up. You'd never met her.
This is out of nowhere. There's not this long thing of like, I know April better than you do, Geno. There's not this long build up to it. It's just like out of nowhere, he's like, fuck you. You don't know her. Now, this is a show, none of us know anyone. You know, it would be like if you went on a sports talk radio show and we're like, are you friends with LeBron James? You bitch. I'm talking about things I'm interested in. I don't know.
Did you just backhandedly compare Aaron to LeBron James?
In Aaron's mind, he's the LeBron James of broadcasting, so I think it's an accurate. I stand by it.
How dare you?
He's the LeBron James of St. Cloud Radio.
Okay.
The life like all these other fucking in the Dabbleverse. Shut the fuck up with your opinion. Tell me about people you know. That's the fucking problem with all you fuck. You know what I think?
Was that me?
Because you don't.
That was you just laughing.
I'm in stunned disbelief. Because he goes, shut the fuck up with your opinion. It's an opinion show. It was wild, like, for him to come on this show. But again, this is I guess the nice thing about Geno is, like, I think I said to him later, like, you came on a show where we give opinions about this guy. What did you expect? And he's like, you're right. So it's hard to argue with that energy, but this was wild.
Live your fucking life with these fucking assholes.
Well, he was just saying that she can be a victim as well.
Let the chat shit on me, but that's the lesson you need to learn. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is, Moody. Like, Moody, did we not meet?
You tried to
speak. We hung out, and you said, "Can I?" I said, "You're going to tell." You're like, "I'm going to tell." What's a fat tits? And I go, "Of course you are." And we had a nice give and take, right? Because we know each other. So as a friend, I'm telling you, shut the fuck up and talk about things.
Well, hold on. I would, if I wish I could have said this on the show, but I would have said, Geno, you met the guy once. You don't know him. You don't know Moody because you met him once at Stand Up New York or the Stand or wherever the fuck they were.
It's true.
That's where this is all so weird. Like, Geno's in this world of it annoys me because Aaron does it also. This idea of like, the Dabbleverse sucks and it's full of criminals. It's like, well, no, they're much like planet Earth. Some people are good people, some people are bad people, and some are in the middle. It's the same when you talk about whatever. Like, if you talk, all cops do this, or all teachers are like that. It's very silly to generalize in that way. Now, the only people paying attention to Geno are the wretched Dabbleverse contributors that he's talking about. So I don't get why he's so angry. I couldn't figure out what he meant. And then I had to leave at 5:30. So I think this just ends with me, not the clips that we have, but this show, like, my contribution on it ended being like, all right, bye, guys. And I haven't really spoken today, but thanks for having me.
I filled in the screen.
For yourself to the level of this bunch of in the chat. Fair?
I think she is a victim. Absolutely, I think. Like, look.
Well, you don't have to know her personality. You don't have to hang out with her to know whether or not she's a victim on this.
Yeah,
though,
like she was going. Look, imagine you and Keanu are married for whatever reason, and then Keanu goes and runs off with someone else.
Why? Wait, why? Why do I have to? Why do I have to? You have to tell me why I have to imagine that. Why do I have to imagine that?
You have troubles with your wife, and she got hooked on some drugs from someone, and she's gone and run off with them.
Why did she get hooked on drugs?
Well,
are they saying that it's not her fault?
I didn't know what was happening.
Okay.
It was very tough for me to contribute. It was all very serious. Like, even you heard Carl jump in there and go, hey, you don't need to know her to know whether she's a victim. And I was like, I thought we were going to laugh about the goal. I thought we were like, hey, Aaron's a crazy guy, right? This all got very serious. And then Geno's like, Adam, you're with me, right? And Adam's like, as a matter of fact, I am not. This Adam Bush, I like this Adam Bush guy. He's got a very unique
NPR
way
voice.
he's got a unique way of talking where he's like, you'll ask him something simple, like, hey, do you think John's a drunken idiot? And he'll pause and he'll go, what's truly interesting about this Dabbleverse? It is akin to, and then I'll have some analogy that I can't follow. And literally on the show, Adam Bush made some analogy that I was like, oh, that makes sense. And Carl goes, wow. And I was like, all right, we're not watching Nikola Tesla work here. He just said Aaron's kind of an ass. Carl's mouth was agape. My God, Adam, you've done it.
Cloud
But
chasing.
no, wait, you know what, Moody? I'll tell you why. Because they wanted to hang out with Rekitas for views, and then they're like, "This will be great." And then, and then fucking Rekieta, who made all his fucking money doing LawTube shit and was already married with 5 kids, wanted to fuck someone else's wife.
Right.
But you're doing this like it's normal.
Yes.
When I'm giving you the specific what happened.
Yeah.
Also, Geno wasn't giving any specifics. I remember Carl asked Geno at one point, like, "Hey, so did Aaron tell you?" About what was going on with April before we knew about it or after? And Geno was like, I don't know. It was whenever I started doing his show. So everyone was like, oh, so after. So it was not like having an insider there. Geno didn't know anything. All right. So I think here is where you tell where I'm very lost.
Unrelated, HACKRIDE just commented in the chat that he downloaded season 7 and 8 of Quincy and is putting it in the drive.
HACKRIDE, you son of a bitch!
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's HACKRIDE, baby.
I hope he's not joking.
I hope that's true.
I will be very upset.
That's big. Don't tease us like that, HACKRIDE.
That is the most important thing you could have said.
That's big. Fuck this Geno nonsense. I hope that if true, HACKRIDE, excellent work, because even the Warthog couldn't find it.
The Warthog's idea was my joke idea.
The Warthog has proven himself in this Quincy experiment to be a real buffoon, quite frankly. This is the smartest man I know.
He's a real Sam.
He really is. He's more of a Monahan, if you ask me. Guys, subscribe to the Patreon and you'll be howling at those jokes.
Yeah, seriously, you'll get it. You'll get it.
All right, back to Geno.
Bring back HACKRIDE games. I agree.
I don't hate that, but he's very big. He's got an album to work on.
That's true. He's got a record.
No, I'm sorry. Casey has an album to work on.
HACKRIDE Studios.
HACKRIDE probably has plenty of time for games.
That's true. That's actually your point. This next clip is just entitled "I Was Lost."
I'm befuddled here. I'm talking about it now because I'm not a big like, hey, you shut up and let me say it. I was just confused. I didn't know it was happening. So I guess I wanted to vent before we moved on from this.
That's what you do. You're them. You're living their lives because do you not like yours? Why don't you spend less time fantasizing about what they would do and fix fucking Aaron's fucking voice on the fucking AI chat?
All right,
That's what I mean. But
now he's making a point.
You get sucked into this world and say to me, hey, but imagine you. Why would I have to imagine that? Because I'm 55. I've got enough realities I've lived through. I've lived many lifetimes, and not in a single one of them did I say, you know what I mean?
So let me tell you. Let me tell you what I want to say there. What I would have loved an opportunity to say was, Geno, you're on the show. I don't understand. I didn't get why he was on. He's like, why would I talk about Aaron Imholt? It's like, I don't know why you'd talk about it. I don't know why I talk about him, but you're on a show that talks about him. So it's very strange to be like, well, why? It's like if I went on, if Craig invited me on Jerry's show and I was like, why do you care about politics? Well, I don't know, but that's what we do.
It's true.
Fucking wife.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. Adam, am I wrong? Stop, Adam. Fucking be the arbiter. Am I wrong, Adam?
This is great. This is where Geno's like, come on, Adam, back me up.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
And then he puts you to sleep with his smooth voice.
Be a victim, and Moody has a point, and he's allowed to say it, and it's true because of all the reasons you just said about everything that Aaron did to her,
He's like, Adam, you're with me, and Adam's like, no, the opposite, actually.
No, I'm not.
He's such a nice voice. I like that. Adam Bush could lull me to sleep. I like that voice.
It really is nice.
It was weird, though. There were a couple times where Adam Bush seemed annoyed being there, too. I didn't understand what I was a part of. Carl was like, you want to come on and talk, Aaron? And I was like, yeah, we'll make fun of how he talks about the goal and how he thinks he's the greatest broadcaster of all time. And all of a sudden it was, she's a victim, damn it! And I was like, where am I?
HACKRIDE just said 100%, so assuming he has it.
That's very exciting.
That is.
All right, so this Tuesday, we're back.
Should be. Next Tuesday. Unless we do a Quan day.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, maybe a Quan day might be in order because the people need Quincy.
That's right.
So we'll figure it out. All right, so that's all. I just wanted to clear that up because I was too much of a coward to speak on the show. I couldn't get a word in edgewise on Friday. So
I'm going to go through these super chats real quick because some of them are related to this.
Okay, perfect.
Not this first one. Good morning, Dominic, $2. Good morning, Gearheads. Miss you, Craigers. I don't know why he said that.
This is what Craig's been doing all morning. He's like,
no.
I think it's. He's trying to get it in on this topic. He's like, I really miss Craig. He's the backbone of the show. I don't.
Hold on.
Do you know what this means? I can't translate it.
Don Fried Chicken, $5. Craig, my daughter said the quote tickle monster end quote slept in her sleeping bag when she went camping with you and your kids. Care to explain?
Do you care to?
Nope, that did not happen.
Okay, so no comment is Craig's official stance on that.
Starberry, $20.
Well, thank you, buddy.
So glad Craig was able to bond out. Kids lie, Craig. I believe you. The fans believe you, and hopefully the jury will too.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah,
I think we all believe Craig.
DJ Electra gifted 5 Blind Mike Project memberships.
No. You're too kind, Electra. The staff shouldn't be doing that. But thank you, Electra.
Box Eating Dad, $2. I hope this is Box Eating Dad and Box Eating Dad only. $2. I hope Geno catches a hot bag with some Fent.
He seemed unhinged, but I guess that's how he always is, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you hit him with logic, and he's like, good point.
Dominic, $2. Mike, I love you on most shows, but I had to skip this.
This?
No, the Geno show.
Oh, well, hey, what can I tell you? I wasn't on the show, so don't worry about it.
He was just kind of watching like us.
I contributed the exact same amount as if I was watching on my phone.
Don Fried Chicken, $2. Geno ruined the whole show.
Yeah, I think Carl's heart was in the right place because I guess there was some news about Geno involving Aaron. I feel like we never really got to it, though. Geno's the kind of guy that talks about what he wants to talk about. Like, if you ask him a question, it doesn't matter what you just said. He has points he wants to make. He's not responding to anything you asked him. Somehow, like COVID will get brought up, and you're like, what? Where are we?
You're not on compound anymore. Relax.
Right.
Port Film Co-op, 2 somethings. I don't even know what that is. $2.
Thank you.
3 of them look like Joe Matteries. Red 473, $5. Geno is also an e-bagger like Aaron, so it's weird that he's on there. Hypocrisy Police pulls up shirt.
Yeah, I heard that got brought up. I don't know enough about what Geno's doing to confirm, but I do know Aaron was ranting about it one day, calling Geno a beggar, which Aaron's definitely not. So,
no, definitely not.
I don't know. There's too many wars going. I brought this up before I left. I was like, at least let me say one thing on the show. I was like, why is Patrick Melton threatening to sue her? We'll get to that later in the program. If you guys are good, we'll hit the goal today. But yeah, it was all. There's a lot of anger, and I'm more of a like, let's have a few laughs kind of a guy.
Port Film Co-op, $2. HACKRIDE is way better in text only. I got to be honest, HACKRIDE just sent me a text with all the files downloading to the drive. So
wow, how did he do that so fast?
I don't know.
No, here's the real question: how did he do it so fast? And Craig was combing through DVDs.
He knows the dark arts, man. I don't know the dark arts. And lastly, for now, Casey Debris, $5. Geno ruined that show. I can't stand him. Glad I'm not the only one. I really wanted to enjoy it too, especially since you and Adam were there.
It was the consensus. Maybe they'll have me and Adam back on sometime because I think we could have made some good points, but it was tough. It was tough to get a word in edgewise at times. So, before we get into more, can I tell the people about J37SHOP.com?
Oh, boy, can you.
Well, let me tell you something. If we do need to go the route of DVDs, I know the best place to do it.
I know exactly where they are.
I would go right to J37shop.com because they've got DVDs, Blu-rays, collectibles, video games, electronics, all kinds of stuff. It's an eBay store, basically. So if you're looking for all kinds of stuff that you didn't even know you needed, go to J37shop.com. It's where you can discover all kinds of goodies. And if you want 10% off, if you're a gearhead, if you're a Blind Mike Project fan, all you got to do for 10% off is use promo code BlindMike at checkout. It's that simple. So they're giving you a deal. And if you want to support J37shop.com, the main reason to support them, in my opinion, is because it's our friend Joe from Virginia, who's one of the Havre de Grace 6. So this is a man that endured the Tom Myers Dat Fan show in Havre de Grace, Maryland.
He went out of his way to go there.
So I say, even if you don't need anything, say this man has been through so much, I got to buy something at J37shop.com. Go there, you'll find something you like, guaranteed, and you're supporting a gearhead. One of the top gearheads, in my opinion. The Havre de Grace 6 holds a special place in my heart forever. So you're supporting our boy Joe from Virginia, but you're also getting fun stuff that you might need or want. So go to J37shop.com. That was all from memory. Craig, did I miss anything?
Help him hit the goal today.
Oh, that's right. Help him hit the goal today.
Loved that line.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to hit the goal, go to J37shop.com. So thank you, Joe from Virginia.
He went out of his way to go to the Havre de Grace show. You can go out of your way to go to this website.
That's right. Yes. We don't really have ever sponsors on this show. So I would say support this one and go to J37shop.com, use promo code BlindMike, and show them what the gearheads can do. Show them we can smash that goal. And you know what I say? If you buy a bunch of stuff from J37shop.com, then you're putting Joe from Virginia in the black, and he doesn't have to worry about November. So that's very important.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you, Joe from Virginia, and thank you, J37shop.com. Now, time for some real news that we have to get into this week. Where are we going first? Shane Gillis?
We can. Let me just timestamp this.
Okay. Seamless. Seamless, huh, folks? Isn't it good to have him back?
I had the website up, so I wasn't on screen.
Boy, it's so natural the way Craig does his job. You hardly notice he's doing it.
Sorry, I don't have a jingle.
So I wanted to... Ooh, shots fired.
Dude, I love HACKRIDE.
What a nasty boy.
By the way, I heard some of this record he's making. It's great.
Okay,
and
there's no need to slam him and then kiss his ass. Why do any of that?
It's such a motherfucker sometimes.
Casey, I'm sorry about what he's done to you here. I don't support it. Let's get to Shane Gillis, shall we?
Yep.
So this is old news now, but I still wanted to talk about it. A, because I'm interested in the topic, but B, I haven't heard a lot of people give Shane the kudos that I think he deserves here. So this is a clip from Skankfest. Someone asked me why I didn't bring this up in my Skankfest breakdown. I was not in the room for this and hadn't seen the clip yet. So shout out to the gentleman. Do we know who released this clip?
The one on Twitter here?
Yeah.
It is...
It doesn't matter. Shout out to him, whoever he is. Good job.
Shout out to him. It was Zebs.
Yes. Well, thank you, Zebs, for acknowledging this, because I think, assuming it's true, Shane deserves massive kudos for this. I think it's a very smart move by him, and I'll tell you why. But first, this is from Louis J. Gomez's Coke Magic show at Skankfest, and he introduces Shane Gillis, and this is the conversation they're having about Shane attending Skankfest.
And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, nobody thought he was coming to this festival this year. He tried to cancel literally days ago.
Explain why.
Can I say why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because he was offered to be Trump on the entire season of SNL, and he turned it down to fucking be here, folks.
I would have missed Coke Magic. They said, "Are you serious? You're gonna say no?" I said, "Lauren, I got to go to Coke Magic."
First of all, I like the idea that Lorne Michaels has to acknowledge what Skankfest is. but my assumption is, so I believe that to be true. I don't think Skankfest was necessarily the reason. My speculation is that Shane is very smart and realized that probably would end poorly. I think it would kill the Trump bit. I don't think they would write Shane's Trump the way Shane and John McKeever write it. And I think it was very smart of him. I think a lot of people would leap at that and just say, like, hey, SNL might be getting more eyeballs than I would be getting on anything else. First of all, I don't know if that's true anymore. Like, I actually don't know if more people watch SNL than watch Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast or Protect Our Parks or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They might legitimately have comparable numbers now.
Oh, for sure.
Right? But also, like, just for persona purposes or whatever you want to call it, like, what SNL would write for Shane to do with Donald Trump, particularly over the next couple weeks, I don't think would match Shane's Trump energy. Now, you could argue, like, Shane can just tell them what to write. Maybe he's at that level now where if they really want him to be Trump on SNL, he has a little pull. But is it worth that fight? Like, I think that shows you the demise of SNL and the rise of a lot of the comics that we like. Like, if you look at the level that Shane's at now, I really think he's above SNL. So I thought it was pretty cool that he's at a place that he can turn them down now. And
speaking of Trump on SNL, did you see that clip I sent you this morning?
I did, yeah. So Alec Baldwin is back, not as himself. I mean, not as Trump.
As himself. No, he's Brett Baer. I saw that and was just like, that is what he's coming out from hiding for?
I'll tell you one thing that would have been great, though. If they did, so let's say Trump loses in 2 weeks. Shane singing Hallelujah as Donald Trump, the way they did it with Hillary, would have been great. If they had, the self-deprecation to pull that off, I think that could have been very funny.
Because he always said he wanted to do that, so he should go do that.
I just don't know if SNL is capable of mocking themselves in that way. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I just don't know if they have that anymore. It seems like a lot of the people that hated Shane when he got canceled. It seems like a lot of improv kids that don't like the same type of comedy that would be represented at say Skankfest. So I think it's very I appreciated the foresight of Shane to be like, probably a bad idea, not really worth it.
Probably wasn't worth the money. I bet if the money was good, he would have.
Maybe. But then it's like, what?
It would have been money, and I have final say on what I say.
Well, it's a night. What's really nice to me about it is Shane, like, there was this whole thing where SNL took the... I don't know the right phrase that I'm looking for, but they basically used their prestige to say to Shane in 2019, you aren't good enough for us. We look down at someone like you who has made the type of jokes you have. Get out of here, scum. We don't want you.
Right.
And now, just 5 years later, Shane is saying, you guys aren't good enough for me. I have no interest in this.
Yeah, my podcast gets more viewers.
Right, yeah. And so it's actually kind of sad now to watch, like, Dana Carvey and whatever other celebrities are just clinging on to something by participating in what SNL is now. And the people that are relevant, like Shane, are like, I don't need it. Whatever.
Right. That's got to feel so nice.
Yeah. So that is a full win. Shane hosting SNL, I think, was a massive win. But then him getting to turn them down, I think it's really him spiking the football.
Yeah.
It's been a decimation since Shane got canceled.
It's come full circle.
It's really, there's not in all of cancel culture, there's not as great a comeback victory as Shane Gillis. It's inspiring to watch.
But shall we get to the next clip here?
I'll tell you who doesn't know Shane Gillis, who definitely has no clue. Now, they took a picture together. Trump met Shane Gillis.
He's taking pictures with 1,000 people every time he goes to those UFC events.
That's fair, but I thought they had like kind of a meeting where Trump acknowledged who he was. Maybe I'm wrong. But
at the end of this clip, he kind of makes it sound like he does know who he is.
I'll explain to you what I think is happening here.
I think I.
But
this might be on the same page.
Yeah, this is Trump on Bussin' with the Boys.
That's so cool about Schulz and these comedians is the level of creativity. You obviously did with Theo Vaughn as well. Have you been able? Do you know about Shane Gillis?
No.
So Shane Gillis, he's probably I don't know, boys, probably the biggest comedian in the world right now.
Yeah, he's up there,
and he does Donald Trump impersonation.
Oh,
and he's pretty fantastic at it. Well, he does a great job.
I've heard great. No, I've heard.
I have heard great.
Why do you go the?
It's hilarious to watch Trump. Trump wants to like put down Shane Gillis and be like, I don't even know who that guy is, because he doesn't like the impression, obviously.
Clearly.
But also he wants to be in the know. And if someone is cool right now, Trump has to know who he is. So he's like, oh, he's great. He's terrific. Now, what Andrew Schulz said, we're going to talk about Andrew Schulz in a minute, but I guess Schulz said that when he interviewed Trump, he asked one of Trump's people about the Shane Gillis impression, and they said, yeah, don't bring that up. Maybe he doesn't like that. So Trump very much, what it reminded me of, I've referenced this a lot lately because it's come up a lot in Trump's interviews, but what it reminds me of is there's a clip from the Howard Stern show of Artie and Donald Trump on after, I think it was the Trump roast, and Trump goes, Artie's terrific, he's a very funny guy, and then Artie made a joke about Trump. And then Trump goes, he bombed at the roast. He was terrible. No one found him funny. So I don't think Donald knows whether or not Shane is mocking him. Or you know what I mean? So he doesn't know where to stand on him. So it's very funny to watch his mind work where he's like, never heard of the guy, but he's terrific. He's one of the great comedians.
Trump's Shane's Trump impression isn't really making fun of Trump. He's like making fun of everyone else while doing Trump. It's weird.
I think he's making fun of everything. I think he's making fun of all of it. But
no, I know. But if you look at like SNL or whatever, it's just making fun of Trump.
Correct. That's why I say Shane is smart, because I think it ruins that character. I think if Shane had to read any of the dialogue that SNL writers would write for Trump, I think it ruins the bit that he's created with it.
Right. I agree completely.
Yeah. So that's us catching up on Shane and Donald Trump. But we're not done with Trump talk yet, folks. Because it's interesting to watch. So with Bussin' with the Boys had Trump on. We talked a little bit about it on Who Are These Socials? And Will Compton got some flack for interviewing Trump. The Washington Post wanted him to answer for why he laughed at a Trump joke and all this stuff. And Will Compton responded to it by farting into his camera.
It's very funny.
Which I found very funny and very appropriate. And I said on Who Are These Socials, I was like, to me, that kind of marks the end of this horse shit. I'm like, maybe we're officially out of it where like the comedians and the podcasters and the people just fucking around are winning again. You just saw it with Shane where he's turning down SNL. We don't need that horse shit anymore. But the people that are able to still get their last jabs in. The fight is not over. People have not surrendered yet in the, whatever you want to call it, the cancel culture war, if you will. Because you still get stories like this. Remember, Kirk dealt with this a couple months ago with the Portland venue canceling on him.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that. Maybe it's more common than we realize because Andrew Schulz dealt with this. So Andrew Schulz had Trump on Flagrant this week. It seemed like a fine enough interview. I didn't hear a lot of controversy from it, honestly.
No.
The only controversy I heard was like Schulz laughed at Trump, I guess. So it's kind of the same thing that Will Compton got, where it's like, you had a chance and you didn't cut his head off.
Jim Gaffigan laughed at Trump this weekend.
Right.
So Thursday, whatever it was.
Yeah. So I don't really know like what the backlash was or anything, but at least one venue had a problem with it. So this is Andrew Schulz telling us about response he got. So Schulz was supposed to film his special coming up, And it'd been in the works, as he's about to explain, and then this happened.
So it was an awesome interview and everybody loved it. And then a day later, Dove was like, oh, by the way, the venue you're going to shoot your special in canceled your shows.
No, damn it.
I waited.
Within 3 hours.
Look, after we interviewed him, before the episode comes out, he goes to the venue. Everybody leaves. It's on Schultz's like special team. All of them have to go to the venue, check it out. I assume everything is good.
People flew in for this. Oh yeah. Like, so we've had these venues locked in for months now, something like that. Like it's not like we might do it here. It's booked. It's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. Like we have the entire production team come out for this is for the third time. Many of us are spotting the venue and looking at everything. We have the set design already curated. We're moving around seating plots, camera plot. Like it's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. And we get an email 3.5 hours out. After discussing with our board members, we don't think that it would be, there's email, you'll bring it up, but don't show any emails off. But it was a BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, which is a venue they've shot tons of specials in. And 3.5 hours after the interview, they canceled shows. So
it's not even enough time. Even if you watched the interview the minute it came out, it's not enough time to even like really think about, should we have this guy here?
No kidding.
So they were like, I guess they were waiting for an excuse to cancel Andrew or something. But it's like for venues to do that, I think is the craziest of all.
They did it to Louis.
Here's where I'll try and muster the defense of them on Louis. At least the argument with Louis is that he was a sexual predator. I don't agree with that by any means. But like, that's the argument, I guess. Andrew Schulz had a presidential candidate on his show.
True.
I don't get what is even the argument to cancel his gigs. It's fucking crazy. You're right. They have done it with Louis, but this is where it's like just buildings now. The board of some building is going to weigh in on who can perform there and who can't, because then you have to scrutinize everything. Are you going through every comic that plays there and saying like, have they ever expressed views we don't agree with? No, of course. It's just that you don't want Trump to have a platform, so you're taking this away from Andrew Schulz. Now, luckily, Schulz is at a point where he'll just find another venue. It's not a big deal.
Right.
If this was a smaller comic, that could be ruining their career in a lot of ways. You know, if the only places that will book them stop booking them, that's a whole different argument. Again, luckily Schulz can play Madison Square Garden if he wanted to. So it's not that big a deal for him. Ultimately, he's able to laugh about it. But I do think it's crazy, and we're starting to break people of this habit. But as you can see by the response to Will Compton and Andrew Schulz, there's still some of that in there. So I wonder, like, if Trump wins in 2 weeks, are we going to get a cooler world than we lived in 8 years ago? Or are people going to revert back to psychos? There's some evidence that say the psychos might win out, which is displayed in this email that Schulz reads here.
Yeah. First off, I want to thank you for thinking of BAM for Andrew Schultz's upcoming comedy show. We are always excited when promoters consider our space for their events. After some internal discussions with leadership, it was decided that BAM is not the right fit for this show at this time. That said, we really do appreciate you reaching out. We'd love to work with you in the future and for future events that might be a better match for BAM.
He explains that what that is there is BAM, Brooklyn Art Museum or whatever it's called. It's them begging Live Nation. So I guess Live Nation is booking Schulz.
Yep. Which
is a massive company. So they're saying, but please, Live Nation, for all the liberal acts you have, don't stop working with us. That's what's crazy about these groveling weasels is like, oh, well, no, please, we still want that. We just want to pretend we're morally upright with Andrew Schulz. It's like, well, then you should disown the company that's working with Andrew, right? If you have these high morals, you know? Like, that's where people get fucked up. It never...
Mike, that makes too much sense.
Right, exactly. There's no logical step. It's like, well, if you disagree with something Andrew Schulz did, you should disassociate with him. You shouldn't say, but please, when you're booking fucking Olivia Rodrigo or whoever, remember us. Because we want the alcohol sales. You know, like that's what's really crazy and gross about it is they take stands where they knew that would get some sort of publicity, but probably not kill their relationship with Live Nation. It's really gross, in my opinion, that it still exists, but you do get some. I don't know. We haven't rid ourselves of this plague of people thinking they can dictate how you think by taking jobs away from you.
I can't believe it's still happening, especially for that. It's just annoying.
Especially for someone like Schulz, who it's like, you knew who he was when you booked him.
Nothing's changed since the Trump interview.
Schulz has made, literally, there was nothing outrageous in that interview. Schulz has made trans jokes. He's used racy material before. He's always been this guy, and not only has he always been this guy, he's never lied about that. He has not tried to get opportunities and apologized for who he was. There's been no horseshit with Andrew Schulz. Say what you want about him. I know a lot of people think he laughs too much and shit like that, but he's always been upfront about who he is. So you can't use that excuse. And then just because he interviewed Donald Trump, like, what should he have done in that interview? Or are you just saying that shows aren't allowed to have a presidential candidate on? You know?
I think.
Would you cancel Alex Cooper?
No. You have to have the right candidate on.
That's what's really psychotic about it, and it's unfortunate because the most backlash that BAM will ever get, the venue, is people talking about it on podcasts like this. You know, like that's all they'll ever receive because they're in control of that, I guess. What I've always advocated for is like now people who like Andrew Schulz and support him should say like, well, I'm not going to perform at that venue if that's how they are. If they don't want a guy like Schulz, then I won't work there. But then my mind gets into a pretzel because I'm like, is that cancel culture? So I don't know. It's hard to navigate, but it's wrong that they're still trying to do that type of shit. But luckily it's fewer and further between. As I think this show is a good barometer of that. We barely talk about stuff like this anymore. So
Jacksonville's winning 20-10.
Okay. You can stop updating me then.
Okay.
It's all over.
It's over.
All right. Yeah, so that's it on Andrew Schulz. I forget where we're going next. Oh, it's Tom Segura, right?
Yeah. And Bert.
So I've wanted to talk about Tom and Bert for a few weeks now because I think Segura is much more guilty of this than Bert at this point. Bert has kind of always been who he is. He's talked about wanting to be famous and recognized and all that kind of stuff. Mm. I think Segura is an interesting case because he has gone on this crusade against the poors.
Yeah.
He hates poor people. That's kind of become his new thing. And then he leaned into it. And that started to become his character. And he was very critical of the people who say he's lost touch. Now, my argument has always been, if you look at fans of Your Mom's House or anything else Segura does, the criticism is not, hey, we're mad that you're wealthy. It's, now you'll just talk about, hey, I bought a new boat. And I flew private this week. And there's no funny stories attached to it. It's kind of just you, I guess, bragging. I guess you could say talking about your life, if that's what your life is now. But it feels just kind of like you're flaunting stuff, and there's no humor attached to it, really. Now, Tom's response to that is people who criticize him for that are jealous. And they're mad about their own lives, and they should work harder. If they want to fly private, they should just work harder. And sure, I agree with that. I guess if you want to fly private, work harder. But no one that I've seen that criticizes Segura is saying, hey, you fly private and I want to fly private. They're saying, why am I listening to this show now? You know?
Right.
It used to be a show like I used to listen to Your Mom's House. And I remember it was a show that talked about a lot of poor, like they would play clips from Reddit and YouTube and all this stuff. The most famous one is, I think his name is Robert Paul Champagne or something like that. Mm-hmm. The Try It Out guy.
Yeah.
Piss on me, beat me, try it out. They talked about that guy who's obviously probably a little mentally unwell and not the most financially successful. And they managed to do it without even mentioning his financial status. They just made fun of this lunatic, you know? So it wasn't always this class war that Tom has framed his career into the last couple of years. And then recently, Tom has backed off that. I think he noticed the Delta thing was a pivotal moment for him, it seems. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Controversy? About a year ago, Tom was on a Delta flight, and he started criticizing the flight attendants. He's like, can you believe they treated me like this? I forget the specifics of the story. Leave it in the comments if you guys remember. But basically, Tom looked really bad because he was like, can you believe I have to deal with this? And the people were like, I think the flight attendant was just doing her job. You know? you're not dealing with a hardship, Tom. What do you expect us to side with you here? And so I think that's when he really started to lose people. And so in the last year, he's kind of backed off that. And it seems like he's made an effort to be more relatable. So anyways, they're talking about the HACKRIDE girl. And this is what I found interesting, where it seems like Tom is wrestling with where he stands with his audience, in popular culture, in his career. It seems like he's kind of grappling with like who he is. And I thought this clip was a pretty good example of that from the latest Two Bears, One Cave.
It's fascinating. I remember the first person I ever watched change, right? And I could be fucking this story up, but like the first person that where like celebrity changed them a little bit was like Daniel Tosh. And Daniel Tosh made a joke on stage. He's like, yeah, I didn't like who I was. That's why I changed.
That's so funny.
It was
First of all, it was a bit that he was doing on stage. It wasn't. This isn't a personal story. It was a joke that we all heard him do in a special.
Correct.
But whatever.
I think I've changed in a lot of ways. Like celebrity does affect you. You have access to things that you never would have had access to. And I think those are all cool. And I'm sure it'll happen to her. Like I'm watching it happen to our friends who are getting like ultra famous. And I'm watching them be uncomfortable with it. And it affecting them. But once it affects you, once you start dressing down to go on stage to seem relatable.
Yeah.
Like say you show up in a suit and then you go, yeah, but I got to go out in old sneakers and a stained shirt.
It's inauthentic.
Then it's inauthentic.
And the funny thing is they're doing it to be authentic. They're like, this will make me seem like I'm the same guy. And it's contrived, and it's actually, you can go as far to say it is unethical because
now this is very interesting. It's just interesting to watch this psychology. So I remember, I don't think we ever got to it, but a few months ago, Tom Segura had you might have even sent it to me, Craig. I can't remember. But Tom Segura had a video on his Instagram where he's like, hey, gang, I was really in the mood for a croissant. And I'm putting a tone on it that isn't there. It wasn't him being sarcastic or anything.
I did send
this. He's like, hey, I was in the mood for a croissant. So I flew in one of the world's greatest pastry chefs, and he made me a croissant. And there was no like, there's no tone of like, how ridiculous is it that I did this? You know what I mean? It's just like he thought it was a totally normal thing that he did. And everyone's like, okay, no, so the joke is what though? The joke is that you wasted $80,000 on a croissant, or what?
I know we give Bert a lot of shit often. I don't think he's changed since college.
That's what I've been trying to say. Is like I think Bert is who he is.
Yes.
Like no one would look at Bert. Like I know they're talking about dressing down here. Like Bert is a shirtless drunk. There's no one that looks at Bert Kreischer as highfalutin. And even when he goes to, in this episode, he talks about a party at Whitney Cummings' house that he went to with like Eric Weinstein and a bunch of, like, a lot of intellectual people were there. And Bert was talking about how it was tough for him to relate to a lot of these people and all that. So I know people don't like Bert Kreischer, but I think he's just kind of always been who he is.
Definitely.
More or less. Now you can argue, like, is the machine story made up, or does he lie about his stories? So that conflicts with he always is who he's been. But like, I think more or less you know what you're getting with Kreischer. Whereas Segura is in this weird mental pretzel where he's like, no, a guy that's famous that wears jeans, he's lying to you, and it's actually unethical of him to dress down. Where it's like, no, that might just be how he is. Like, I think Gillis is a good example of a guy who's got a lot of money now. Like, he still dresses the same as he used to, which also you don't have to do. You can dress nicer, and you don't even have to acknowledge it, in my opinion. But Segura does this weird thing where he's in a constant tug of war with his audience over whether or not he's changed, and he tries to there's this constant rationalization of who he is, which I think is weird.
Manipulating people to think that you are something that you are not. And I know a dozen guys like this.
I know more guys like this than the other.
And the funny thing is, like, they're full of shit. These guys are full of shit. And people will sometimes like talk about these guys like, hey, look how nice this is. Like, he's one of us. And he's like, no, he's not. He's manipulating you. He lies to you.
Manipulating you. Yeah.
It's nonsense.
But I couldn't even get the argument, like, so he should act like whoever they're talking about. Yeah, I don't know who they're referencing necessarily. But, you know what might be a good example, like Larry the Cable Guy. Where, like, I don't think when Dan Whitney is off stage, he's burping and drinking beers and just being a regular redneck.
He very much could be.
No, well, his name's Dan Whitney, and he doesn't have an accent. So those are two pretty good hints that he's not the same guy off stage.
That's true.
But, like, I don't know. That's a character that he's playing on stage, but Segura is telling us, like, we should revolt against him. He's the problem. Not people that don't try to relate to the audience at all. Like, it's a very weird angle he's taking. And unlike a lot of people, like, I get shit in the comments a lot because I don't hate Segura or Bert. I don't hate either of them. But I do acknowledge some of the flaws that people point out. And this constant struggle, like, I would say to Segura, just be you. Do whatever. And if what you are is kind of a rich asshole that looks down on the poor people that support your show, the chips will fall as they may. Some people will still continue to support you and not give a fuck. Other people will criticize you online for that. And that's just what happens. But you don't have to... What's manipulative is not wearing jeans and a messy t-shirt on stage.
Yeah.
What's manipulative is going on your podcast and being like, no, everyone's a liar but me. Don't you see?
Yeah, Hidden Hand Media in the comments says, so Tom thinks people should throw their money in your face if you're rich.
That's the thing, is you can talk about going on private jets and getting a nice Rolex and buying a boat and a jet ski. Just tie it to a cool story. You know?
I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Well, then don't talk about it then.
But how are we going to know that they flew private?
Well, see, now you're in the real mental pretzel that Tom has entered. How are we going to know that he flew private and that he has a nice watch and a nice car, but there's no fun story attached to it? Well, I guess I just have to tell them. It's like, no, Rogan talks about rich guy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Rogan does things that we're not able to do.
He's always like, I am so incredibly lucky for this.
Well, there's that, but I don't even think you need to do that. My point is, he's telling us these experiences because he's like, so I was at dinner talking to Elon Musk, and Elon said something really interesting to me. Now, when I'm picturing that, I'm not picturing them at a Chipotle. You know, I understand they're probably at a very nice place that I couldn't afford to go to.
Right.
Who gives a fuck? As long as whatever he's quoting Elon on is actually interesting, I'm hooked. I'm listening.
Yeah, he's not like, so when the 18th course came out and we were...
You wouldn't believe this place. I mean, it's so... Guess what the bill was. It's like, I bet it was a lot.
We drank out of Winston Churchill's mug.
And I'll tell you the perfect example of why Tom is wrong in this whole... Like, Tom goes on Are You Garbage? And is a very interesting segment. They still have on their wall of Are You Garbage? Tom is the highest... whatever he said he gave for a wedding gift for someone, it's by far the most they've ever heard. They made that, the Are You Garbage guys made that into a fun, interesting topic on their show. Like, that can be interesting if you make it funny and interesting. But just saying, like, yeah, I went to a wedding and I gave a guy a lot of money. Nice. Hey, we're jealous. No, it's just like, Are we laughing? Or what's the topic?
The thing is, I was like, Tom, if you called him garbage on that show, he'd be like, no, he'd get
it would upset him. Yeah.
See, the one thing they did that I thought was funny with money was didn't Tom buy Bert like Hitler's teacup or some shit?
See, like that kind of stuff. Do that.
That's funny.
Waste your money on silly shit. And I even think they had something, I didn't really follow it, but like they would each get each other birthday gifts, more extravagant. Like, if you can make that funny, go for it. But if you just like, I bought a jet ski. Well, why do we give a fuck?
Right.
You know, if you crash the jet ski, like, you know, it was another great example, Dave Portnoy, who, you know, I have my issues with the man. But I think he's done it smart. Portnoy has hundreds of millions. Portnoy is more rich than probably either of these two guys, I would think.
Definitely.
You watched it. He lives on Nantucket. He has the most expensive house in Massachusetts. What has he done with that? He almost sank his boat. he shot a flare gun up for the Coast Guard to come save him because he didn't know how to start it. That's funny and interesting. Like, that's how you make a rich lifestyle interesting. No one was like, when Dave was getting rescued by the Coast Guard, no one was like, oh, you rich asshole, fuck you. People were like, oh, that's funny. You know?
That is funny. He's got his stupid fucking captain hat on.
Yeah, Captain Dave shooting fire into the sky because he can't start his fucking boat. That's funny rich guy stuff, Tom. Get caught in the middle of the ocean, I guess is what I'm saying.
That is very funny.
So, Podcast Cringe put out a video this week, kind of, in my mind, related to this subject, because Joe Rogan was talking about his friends who have kind of wasted their money. And I don't know if you can figure out some of the people he might be talking about here. Now, the reason I didn't play the Podcast Cringe video is he has kind of a different angle on this. His angle is more like, well, Rogan also wastes money. But I felt Rogan was making a good point, so I'm going to play Rogan's clip here with Shane Smith.
Yeah, real quick. Reverend Shitstain Powerful Pooper, $5. Did you see Shane Smith on Rogan this week? Politically inept, lowest rated ep ever at 7K upvotes and 129,000 downvotes.
I noticed. Oh, I didn't notice the likes versus, but I did notice. I was surprised it was like less than 500,000 views when I saw it. I was surprised by that. But I guess it was a lot of Rogan like slamming Vice and Shane Smith just going, yeah, we really fucked that up.
But here it is here.
The big thing too is keep it small.
Keep it small, dude.
Keep it small.
Keep it small.
It's just me and Jamie, and we have a video editor that's not even local. He just gets it on the internet.
And also, Jamie is super good vibes, which is
yeah, no, he's the best. But it's the most important. I have friends that have big podcasts, and they have like this huge staff, and they have all these people running around. I'm like, what do all these people do? And it's like they want this feeling of they're the boss of a bunch of employees.
Yeah.
For some reason, they want all these production people that are creating content. But then you have inter-office conflicts, and they're always putting out fires, and people are complaining, and then people leave and make videos talking about what people.
I will say
that sounds like Schaub, actually.
All right, I think he might be talking about Brendan Schaub. You know, you really have to read between the lines. He's like, you know, you're kind of a meathead that doesn't really know how to run a business, and then you got a guy who quits and talks about what a moron you are and how bad Gringo Poppy was. And it's like, boy, who is he talking about?
If I told you who it was, you'd be surprised.
No, he's definitely talking about Schaub, but I think it also applies to Segura. Now, I will say, like, so I went to Your Mom's House Studios, not to brag, go watch First Date with Lauren Compton. It wasn't a ton of people. Like, it was somewhat bare bones is the wrong term, because I'm sure there's some people that don't do a ton there. But it wasn't like there were 80 people just doing nothing coming up to me, like asking if you need coffee or anything. Maybe that's different on a day when a celebrity is in there.
Or Bert and Tom.
Yeah, very possibly. It might be different when it's just Lauren's show, you know?
Yeah.
But it seemed relatively bare bones for the amount of office space they have and everything. But I do think it applies to Segura in the sense that, like, do they need 8 producers on Your Mom's House to laugh in the other room? Or is it just like, one guy probably could, they just need any or whatever the guy's name is,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey man, you're dealing in this thing where there's currency in that information. There's currency for these mediocre people. So you hire these mediocre people, and these mediocre people attack you because there's currency in attacking you, but you didn't need them in the first place. This whole thing was stupid. Like, you're making a little bit more money, but you have more problems, but you don't notice that money. Like, you have to pay attention to what you notice, right? Whatever the fuck you have in your bank account, if you're a fairly wealthy person and you have $100 more, $100 less, $1,000 more, $1,000 less, you don't notice it. But I'll tell you what you do notice. You notice hassle. You notice problems. Those problems are worth a lot of money to get rid of. Like, if you had a bunch of employees like, fuck, what can I do? There's so many people. It's so annoying. God, I wish we were small again. Getting back to small again is a grind. You got to fire people. You got to downsize. You got to figure out how to do it. That's a mess, man. You don't want that mess. So that extra money that you got by making things too big, you fucked yourself.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely talking about SHOP, obviously, because I think your mom's house is also doing much better than Thick Boy Studios. But
I think so, yeah.
But nonetheless, I think the example still holds, and it's interesting to hear a guy like Rogan, where that's kind of his philosophy of, like, you don't need to be greedy with a lot of this stuff. And you're hearing a couple guys that he propped up, like Bert and Tom, be like, no, we should do that. We should flaunt all this. It's very important that we do this. So I think it's like, I don't know, just as a fan. And again, I listen to what I just said. Like, if I listen back to this, I don't hear a guy who's jealous. Like, I'm not like, oh, damn. Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are a lot more successful than me, and they deserve that. But criticizing that, I don't hear a guy that's like, they shouldn't have it. You know? Like, because you can listen to a guy with like Rogan with $400 million and be like, no, that's just the mindset that I agree with more, and he's got more money than both of them. So, yeah. So I don't know. Segura's in this weird place where he's constantly, it feels like debating his audience through his podcast, where he's making these points of like, the bad guys are the people who wear jeans and a t-shirt on stage. And it's constant back and forth of like, no, the poor's, their problem is I'm too rich. And it's like, no one's saying that. It's just like, we liked the podcast when we didn't care how much money you had. We didn't have any idea if you were doing very well, if you were poor, whatever. We just knew you had a successful, funny podcast. That's all we really knew about your bank account.
I miss that.
Yeah, that's all. So I don't know. Tom's in a weird place. It's interesting to watch him navigate it, but I could see it leading to him snapping one day. So we'll keep an eye on that.
I can't wait.
All right. What do we? I had a specific order, and then I totally forgot what it was. So what are we getting to next?
I don't think the order of the rest matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do Coach HP real quick before we get to the other stuff, because this will be very quick. But I just wanted to remember Coach HP, guys. A lot of people might not remember him. We've got new people since we talked about Coach HP.
It's definitely been a while since we've done him.
It's been a while. Coach HP is the most positive man on the internet.
With the deadest eyes.
Supposedly. Yeah. Definitely not a complete act.
Did you watch this whole video, by the way?
Oh, boy, did I. Yeah.
Because the first 3 minutes shouldn't have been in there.
No, definitely not. So Coach HP, I discovered him because he interviewed Brendan Schaub and wept openly about what a success Brendan Schaub has become. And so, like, I remember at the time people made fun of Brendan Schaub for the interview, and much like when we discovered Boogie with Dan Schneider, I said, "Oh no, my friends, I think the interviewer here is where the gold is."
Yes.
So we talked about Coach HP a lot in the past. And he went away for a while. And then the last we heard from him, he was trying to get my phone number to call me.
He kept texting me.
He was texting Craig and demanding my phone number. And Craig said, well, why don't you come on the show and we'll talk about it? And he said, no, only behind the scenes will I do this. So I assume he wanted to dress me down.
He wanted to yell.
Yeah. He wanted to be not so positive, I suspect.
Yeah.
But my argument was, let's do it on the show. You know, call me an asshole if you want, whatever. But let's do it on air. There's no sense in me having a phone call that I then have to describe to you guys. You know,
Right.
So that was the last we heard of Coach HP. Then he did a live stream called "I Love America" or something, and then he stopped doing podcasts for a while. So he's been back the last couple weeks, and he had an interview subject. This is weird. This woman's her name is Billy Joss, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know an MLB player by that last name, she's their mom. The reason I'm not telling you who the player is because Coach HP never says it. He's like, this is the mother of an MLB player. never tells you any more about the players or anything. It's just like, you should hold this woman in high regard. She has shoved an MLB player through her birth canal. Very impressive. So I get on my, I say, oh, Coach HP has done an episode. You know what I'll do is I'll put it on, I got a walking pad right here. I said, we get on the old wall, get a few steps in while I listen to Coach HP. I started the treadmill, and then I took about 3 steps, and I stopped it because I heard maybe my favorite question in interview history. So this is how the interview starts. And this is, as you can tell, definitely a man who has read the entire book. So let's hear Coach HP's question to this author.
What's up, everybody? It's your coach. Welcome to the #1 podcast.
This is 3.5 minutes into the video, by the way.
It's just him yammering to this lady, and then all of it, he's like, so are you ready? And she's like, yes. I thought we started already.
Positivity podcast on the internet right now, the Coach HP Show. And today I have one of my very good friends, the one and only, the author, Miss Billy Jouse. Miss Billy Jouse, how are you doing today? Talk to me.
I am excited to be here with you. It's always a joy to hang out with you. So I'm excited I get to do that.
I love it. Is this book number 3 or number 4?
Well, it's number 3 and 4 if you look at it, because it came out in English and Spanish.
Wow.
Hold on, real quick. That doesn't count.
I think she's just trying to impress him.
That doesn't get they translated the book. You don't get another book credit. But that's neither here nor there. The question is coming. So right now, this is a man who has clearly, he's so in on this book that he just has questions pulsating out of him that need to be answered. This guy, he has such a thirst for knowledge that this is the first question he asks about Billy Jouse's book.
Let me tell you something that I love already about the book. I love the cover. Who thought of the cover?
Oh, you know what I tell people is they don't even need to read the book. It is, you get all the information you need just from looking at the outside of it, I said. Now, Ms. Jouse, I notice this book, there's paper inside. Could you tell me about the paper? Oh, and you say, now, I didn't bother opening this book. My understanding is there are words on this paper, yes?
Oh, by the way, her husband is a coach.
Her husband's a coach. One of her kids is a coach. One of her kids is in the minors, and one is in the majors or something like that.
I just typed Jouse MLB, and it just showed her husband.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the most well-known of the 4, but yeah. They're all related to the MLB somehow. So it was a very boring interview, but I just like the idea. Coach HP didn't read a page of this book. Didn't read a sentence.
This cover's great. I'm going to judge it.
Oh my goodness, this cover. You get all you need to know. You don't even need to. You don't want to open the book when you see this cover. You say, this is a work of art. I will hang it on my wall. And this tells me everything I need to know about being a mother to a Major League Baseball player.
I don't have to read it. I just feel it.
Yes. This cover, it speaks to my soul. Now, quite literally, yes. I bet that is true. The first thing I noticed about this book is the cover. Well, no shit. How about opening it?
It was not handed to me open.
It was not handed to me open, and at no point did I decide to open it.
I understand, I says.
What's interesting about this cover is you put your hand on it and you feel the information that's inside.
It's Braille for bored people.
Now, I don't know if this is a sexist thing or whatever, but Coach HP has a history of like building men up in his interviews. He tells Brendan Schaub what an inspiration he is. He told David Lucas he's the greatest comedian in the world. He's got a lot of powerful things to say to men. He told was it Gilly or Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game?
Wallow.
You are a beacon of light in this society, my friend. You are one of the greatest podcasters who has ever picked up a microphone. And so he has these like great interviews, but with Miss Jouse, with Billy Jouse, he didn't ask a lot of questions. But I'll tell you one he did get in, and that was the old standard right at the end. Do you have any questions for me?
What do you want to know about my life?
And she's like, well, I've known you for a long time. How you been? That's pretty much the only thing you can ask in that situation. And he goes on to tell us the struggle of being Coach HP.
The loneliest thing I've ever done was become Coach HP.
Oh my God. Hold on. We got to hear that again.
I keep forgetting that's what he says.
It was such a struggle. I used to be Hector. And nobody gave a damn about Hector, and in a way that was kind of nice because I was not berated by rabid fans out in the streets. But then when I become Coach HP, there's an element of fame, but it is also very lonely. No one knows you for who you really are.
The loneliest thing is, it's like he's Batman.
Yes, yeah, and he's down in the cave. Just wondering, did I make the right choice here?
I need him to have a baseball bat cave.
The loneliest thing I've ever done was become Coach HP. When I tell you that it's the loneliest thing, that people can't relate to you when you're thinking about positivity all the time. People can't relate to you when you pick up a phone.
So you're telling me the worst thing that's ever happened to this guy, he's like, I will devote my life to positivity.
No one can relate when you pick up the phone. Yeah, because you're screaming at him because you're not being recorded.
So, like, does Coach HP go to a restaurant and then someone, like, angrily puts up a sign, like, negatives only? We don't like your kind here, boy.
He rips his shirt off.
Coach HP has to drink from a different water fountain. This is for cynics. There's a guy's got a frowny face tattoo. He's like, you know what that means? Not welcome.
He walks into a restaurant. He's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, get out.
Boo! Coach HP doesn't realize he's only been trying to go to Dick's Last Resort. Like, they do not understand my positivity here. They are so cold. All I want is a hot dog.
I have a hat that says bummer on it.
People can't relate to you when you pick up a phone and just call people out of the blue. And I'm saying, look, I think you should do this, and that. And 90% of them.
That is obnoxious.
If I got a phone call, someone just be like, this is how you should live your life. It's like, fuck off.
How did you get my number?
People don't understand. People don't understand the way. Maybe he's just a telemarketer.
They do not understand when I call them and tell them how to live their lives.
I call them.
They don't understand how right I am.
You can have 3 ShamWows.
Do it, and it's wrong because I'm not calling you to tell you how you should save money on your energy bill. You know what I'm saying?
He's calling you to tell you why you need to save money on your energy bill. You can't afford not to.
My area of expertise is effort and attitude, which I have right here, and just being your
effort. By the way, for Mike, this is a classic hack, right? I'm going to tell you what you're missing.
Please.
He said effort and attitude, which I have right here. It's just a poster behind them that says effort and attitude.
Now that seems like The Office. like
Yeah,
Michael Scott would say that.
That's exactly it.
Effort and attitude.
And he
Which,
points-
as a matter of fact, I have right here.
He points with his thumb over his shoulder. To the poster.
I gotta be honest. I expected more of Coach HP. I assumed he was pointing to his heart.
No.
He's pointing to a literal sign that says effort and attitude.
Yes.
Effort and attitude, which I have right here, and just being yourself and dealing with failure from a guy that failed so much, Billy.
It's the emptiest advice. So if you don't know, if you've never heard our Coach HP segments before, go back through the archives and find them.
They're marvelous.
They're some of my favorite stuff we've done on this show.
It's the most polarizing segments we probably do, but I love them.
Well, if you don't understand why we make fun of this positive man, is because it's all the emptiest horse shit.
Yeah,
So I call people at their homes and I say, be positive. And they say, okay, leave me alone now.
See if I still have my text with him. Because I don't remember being very positive.
He seems like kind of an, oh, good. Yeah. See if you can find that. He seems like kind of a needy guy too. Because he, like, at the end of every interview, he does it with this one too. He's like, now please stay on with me. I'm going to end the recording, but I am not done with you. And this poor Billy Joust is like, Jesus Christ, we talked for half an hour. What more do you need?
So I get a text random. This is that day I called you out of the blue. I was like, this is an emergency.
You said, did you give Coach HP my number? And I didn't know what was happening. So I believe he went through an associate of ours to get your number.
Yes.
Yes.
He says, Mike, what's up, bro? Let me know whenever you get some minutes to talk, Coach HP.
Yeah.
That was edited, by the way.
Very positive.
Can I see what was edited?
You can edit text.
The first one says, Mike, what's up, bro? Let me know whenever you get some minutes to talk, Coach HP. He edited nothing? Oh, he edited an apostrophe.
You cocksucker.
No, yeah, edited an apostrophe S out.
Oh, that's good. I appreciate that. I like good grammar.
I said, hey, man, this is Craig, Mike's producer. And he says, what's up, Craig? Sorry, bro. I thought you were Mike. Have him hit me up. I said, no problem, man. Is there any message I can pass along? I usually handle his bookings. No, just have him reach out.
That's how Coach HP knew. He's like, he would not allow Craig to handle something like that.
I was like,
something
hey,
is amiss here.
You want to come on the show? No, just have him reach out. So he was going to take you behind like a dumpster and murder you, I think.
Yeah, I think he was going to be not so positive with me.
I don't think so.
Which I'm fine with, but I was like, well, we'll do it on the air. What good does that do me if he's yelling at me into my phone?
Then his whole character is ruined.
Right.
That's why he can't do it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really just thought the first question was fun, where he's like, you know what I love most about this book? Not having to open it. I really...
And knowing exactly what it says inside.
Also, the question, who did the cover? What do you mean, the publisher, I guess? What do you mean, who did the cover?
I'm guessing the author had some say in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I don't like that. Change this.
Yeah. Same as every book cover. All right. So, yeah, that was quick, but it was nice to catch up with Coach HP.
Got some super chats here.
Okay, let's get to those before we move on to a character that Craig is not too familiar with.
No, I'm not. HACKRIDE, $2. Fucking idiot.
Stop paying. HACKRIDE Studios, stop paying me.
Oregon Ducks, #1 in the country SEO Ducks.
That's true. That's probably true. Now that my Longhorns lost.
Port Film Co-op, $2. Craigophiles Rise Up.
Hell yeah.
Diz 5, $2. Really love the show.
Thank you, buddy.
Kirkland Red 100s, $2. Bill Schultz and Andrew Schultz are cousins. Crazy.
Is that right?
I don't know.
I think they spell it different. No,
I don't know. I don't know. Fethion, $10. Utica Rules, Boston Drools.
This might be the same guy that was in the Who Are These Socials chat the other day. He's obsessed with Utica. I don't know the angle, but
Wes Little, $5. You fellas make me happy.
Oh, goody. Thank you, buddy. You make us happy.
Reverend Shitstain, powerful pooper, $2. It was mostly Smith defending illegal immigration. He was the one that commented about how shitty that episode was. All right, and that's
Rogan's going to have Trump and Harris on this week.
Is that actually true?
I'm wondering. I don't know.
Harris can't be that stupid because that's not going to go the way she wants it to.
I don't know if it will for either of them because Rogan will ask them questions.
Yeah, Trump will kind of answer them. And Harris won't like the questions, and she won't answer them. And then he'll be like, "Yeah, but what about this?"
Rogan might be the only person. I don't want to go down this road too much, but Rogan might be the only person that says, "Well, you didn't answer that the question I just asked you."
Oh yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he won't care what they say.
Yeah,
should have Elon Musk sit in with him like Tim Pool did with the Twitter people.
yeah. All right, so I've got to tell you about Rob Saul now.
Okay.
So you're not too familiar with Rob Saul. Craig really showing that he doesn't watch the show when he's not on it. Very vain.
The dog guy that was from last week because I only watched part of it.
Yes, it's the dog guy. Yeah.
the only reason I know this guy's name is I talk to the Drip Lord once in a while. Like the other day, I reached out after you and him were on KMS because he tried to bring up the dabble verse, and I just made sure he was okay.
I was like, not here, Pat.
It's like, are you all right? He's like, I just can't get enough.
He's obsessed with it, yeah.
But he's obsessed with specifically Rob Saul, and I haven't seen him before.
So Rob Saul is Stuttering John's latest best friend. John always has a best friend in the Dabbleverse, and it's always changing. And it's always someone who he loves. And this is like a brother to me. And then they eventually turn on him. Clay Dabbler is going through this right now, where Clay Dabbler is now on the outs with John. I'm sure.
It's even him, right?
I don't even really know. Who knows? It's very hard to follow. But Rob Saul is John's latest confidant, and I'm starting to get that feeling. It's a feeling I had with Richard Ojeda when I would hear him in the Stuttering John segments. It's a feeling I had with Aaron Imholt when I started to see what was going on with the goal and April and Nick and all that stuff. And it's a feeling I'm getting now with old Robbie Saul, where I'm like, this might be a guy we talk about a fair amount. Because I think he's on the verge of snapping. So last time we were on with Casey Day, we talked about his proclivity for dogs. Rob Saul needed it to be known. So the internet is saying that this man is a dog fucker. And Rob Saul needed it to be known that that's not true. Now, I was always of the mind of course it's not true. What do you mean? He's a human being. He doesn't fuck dogs. And then we analyzed his response, and it was indicative of someone that could be fucking dogs, I suppose. So you see Rob start to unravel here with Stuttering John. We also talked about him. He gets unhinged. If you bring up women, that's when he really loses it and gets quite nasty. So I think this is a man on the verge of some kind of break, and I'm here with my popcorn ready to watch. So we have some clips from Rob Saul on Stuttering John's show, I believe on Thursday. And John certainly contributes to some of this as well. So let's dive in here.
This is Rob's aunt.
Oh, so this is the newest thing. Guys, listen to me. You're gearheads in the chat right now, I assume. So you're going to take my words, with some prestige here. You respect what I'm about to say. Don't, and I mean do not, suggest that Rob is having relations with his aunt. Because he doesn't like that. So I'm going on the internet and telling you guys who enjoy commenting in YouTube chats and going on Reddit and Twitter and making jokes, I'm telling all of you, under no circumstances should you talk about Rob and his relationship with his aunt.
Don't.
What was that?
Joe Biden.
Oh, well, thank you, Joe. I'm saying it. And The president. Have we ever, by the way, had a president that everyone forgets he's still the president?
No.
I almost said the former president of the United States. So me and Joe Biden are telling you, don't make fun of Rob. So what happened, where this started was, Rob a couple weeks ago called into John's show, and he was riding the bus because I guess he doesn't drive, which it bothers me when I see a sighted man who chooses not to drive, because I think you're mocking me. You know, that's my seat on the bus you're taking.
He's just on the bus going, dude, I'm blind.
It's like, could you imagine if I couldn't drive? I'm like, yes, I could. So Rob calls from the bus and he's like, John's like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's my birthday, so I'm going to hang out with my aunt. And everyone's like, it's pretty weird. You're a 42-year-old man. You hang out with your aunt on your birthday?
It's lame, dude.
Yeah. So people have made fun of him. And now, well, I won't spoil it. Rob's going to explain what really has him agitated these days about the jokes about his aunt.
And second of all, if Vince the lawyer is going to Belmont, I choose not to go. I would love to see you, but I don't want to spend any time with Vince the lawyer.
Yeah, what's going on there?
He played a clip on the show saying that that I'm trying to fuck my aunt and that I'm too much of a loser to close the deal.
No, listen.
Very funny.
Listen, I don't love everything Vince the lawyer does. And I don't even know if the joke Vince was making was funny, but I'll tell you what is funny. Is Rob seriously addressing these claims? And he's saying, I'm trying to fuck my aunt and I'm too much of a... Rob, clearly it's a joke. As you're repeating it back, he's saying you're too much of a loser to close the deal. That's funny.
That's so funny.
It's ridiculous. Why are you getting angry about, like, listen, I've made missteps in my life and career when it comes to taking jokes and criticism online. I haven't always handled it well. But I'll tell you one thing that would have made life really miserable for me. When jokes were made about my mom on KMS.
Yeah.
If I went, hey, stop it! I don't do that. I think things would have gone a lot worse for me.
I think so.
So, Rob, you're not handling this well.
These people think it's funny that because their only friends are the people in the chat room and they have no family. Rob, I gotta say, not to brag, I went to 2 weddings last week. One was a friend. One was 2 friends getting married to each other. The other was family. I still found the joke kind of funny. I mean, that's evidence of 1 family member and 2 friends that I have. Those are pretty good stats, and I still got a good chuckle out of this. So I'm sorry to tell you, Rob, even if you have a couple of friends, you might laugh at the idea of someone trying to fuck their aunt and being too much of a loser. As if I'm laughing thinking about it. The idea that your aunt was like, whoa, Rob, I mean, maybe get out of the bartending business and we'll talk.
That's the funny part, is the closing part.
The idea that his aunt was not like, no, we're family. She was like, I don't know, Rob. You don't have the stats that I like in a man.
I can't be seen with a dog fucker.
Yeah, I'm too humiliated.
Friends, and then on the day of my birthday, I went out with my aunt. So everybody's like, "Oh my God, Rob Saul's a loser. He went out with his aunt, who's pretty much raised me like a mom. She's like a mother to me."
Okay, fine, Rob. I'll change it. Rob's a 42-year-old man that hung out with his mom on his birthday. Is that better? Jesus. Fine. Rob's trying to fuck his mom. All right, guys? Get it right. Fine, Rob. We'll all change it. You're trying to have sex with your mother, not your aunt. In your life, that's who she is to you, so we're very sorry. We didn't mean to call it your mother's sister. It's actually more like your mother.
I got sent this clip of Vince the lawyer on one of these Schulz ball washing shows. Like, I don't know if it was Dabbler or
Tukey or one of these.
I gotta say, first of all, they're the same guy. I hate to break the fourth wall for you. I don't know if it was Bedabbler or Tukey or Rocco or it could have been anybody, really. If I could tell you one thing about Tukey, I don't think he's a Schulz ball washer.
No.
I think he's very aware of the joke.
Yeah, Rob Saul. Yeah, he's definitely trying. Not even allegedly. This guy's a lawyer. Rob Saul's definitely trying to fuck his aunt, but he's just too much of a loser to close the deal.
He said it again.
It's funny every time.
I'm going to name this episode "Too Much of a Loser to Close."
So Rob's like, hey, he didn't even say allegedly. Like that would be that's okay. Like then now at least we're being accurate.
Next we have John's daycare.
So listen to what John is dealing with in his life. You know, say what you want about John. The man has had success. He was on the most legendary radio show in history. He was on an institution in late night. And now listen to what he has to negotiate. Bringing his internet friends to some restaurant in New York called the Belmont. Mm-hmm. Like he's setting up play dates for these people, and he has to navigate that world. John, when people make fun of you, it's not because you were on the Howard Stern Show and the Tonight Show. It's because you were on the Howard Stern Show and the Tonight Show, and now you do this. This is what people are making fun of. Listen to this man try to navigate these little petty disagreements.
But I need to bring you guys together. I need him to apologize to you. If he apologized to you, would you be okay?
Yeah, I mean, as long as he states that. I mean, like, people make people say that all the time, but as a person, he came on saying that as a fact. Like that's a proven fact that I'm trying to.
Hey, tell Vince the lawyer. Tell everyone Rob still has a chance with his aunt.
The door's not closed.
Here's the problem: is Vince the lawyer keeps saying that he doesn't have a shot with his aunt, and you don't know what love is. Sometimes there's always stories where, like he was pestering me for a long time and I wouldn't give in, and then eventually I went on a first date with him, and now we've been married for 45 years. And maybe Rob could have that type of relationship with his aunt. Now, obviously it wouldn't last as long. I assume she's near death, but maybe Rob can slide in there at some point.
He hopes.
Well, okay, and that's not cool. And I will tell
Shut up, John.
No, you know what? John's right. That isn't cool.
It's funny.
It really isn't. You know what? I actually don't think that's right to accuse Rob Saul of trying to fuck his aunt. If we were let's say we're in a workplace.
Okay.
And I just stood up and said, gang, little attention over here for a minute. I think, Rob in accounting, I think he's trying to fuck his aunt. You're right, John. I should probably be fired. That's crazy behavior. Now, if you're talking about an internet troll like Vince the lawyer, this is day one stuff. This is what Vince learned his first day online,
This is the guy who looked at Richard O'Jay and be like, dude, you don't find it a compliment that I would eat your wife's ass?
It's just if Vince the lawyer suffered like a traumatic brain injury and was rehabbed back to health, the first thing he would have like a memory of, he's like, wait a minute, there's something in me. I don't know why I'm saying this, but is Rob Saul trying to fuck his aunt? And they're like, oh my, he's making progress. Yes, Vince. Very good. Write that down. It's like when in South Park when they restart the internet.
Yeah.
And the first guy comments on something like gay. Like that's day one stuff. Just be like, hey, Rob says he's not trying to fuck his aunt. So I'm going to say he is trying to. Now, you know what, Rob? I will say what does work with trolls on the internet. I bet Vince is probably going to stop now because it seems like you're really worked up about it and angry, which makes it seem so much less true. So I bet now Vince is going to be like, oh, well, obviously he's not trying to fuck his aunt. I guess I'll just stop. That's enough of that. Case closed.
And apologize to Rob if you want to come to the Belmont. And that's just how it's going to go. Because I can't, because look, Vince sued me, okay?
Yeah.
So whatever he said about you, he sued me.
Oh, yeah.
So for 12
really has nothing to do with anything other than John wanting to be more of a victim. That really doesn't have anything to do with. Vince didn't say the lawsuit wasn't that John was trying to fuck his niece, As far as we know, he and Kate Meany are not related. So
and should hate Vince, it should be me.
Yeah.
But, we've worked it out.
Yeah.
And we came to an agreement that was not very costly to me. And
what a bizarre argument. Hey, Rob, I know this guy is trying to say that you're fucking one of your family members, but I don't have a problem with him. So you really shouldn't have a problem with him either. Don't you see? Don't you see the logic? Like, I don't have a problem with this guy. So, like, why do you? And Rob's like, well, the guy's saying I'm fucking my aunt. Obviously, I don't like him. And John's like, no, but I like him now. Don't you get it? Like, aren't you seeing my logic here?
That guy's like, he's too much of a pussy to close, and he's like, well, he's serious. This guy's not joking at all.
That's the thing. Is like, Rob, you're making everyone believe it's like the dog clip we played or 2 weeks ago, where it's like, as I'm I thought it was just jokes, and then as I'm watching, I'm like, this guy attracted to dogs? Why is he? Why is he so angry about this?
Care about is me.
Yeah.
That's not really.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, play that again, because this is very interesting. This is John's psychology, where he admits something and then he knows how it comes off and backpedals immediately.
We've worked it out.
Yeah.
And we came to an agreement that was not very costly to me. And obviously, the only person I care about is me.
Yeah.
That's not really true, but.
Oh, good. Now it sounds really untrue.
That's not true, guys.
This is where John doesn't understand like how he comes off. Like that felt like a joke, clearly. Now, people would dissect it, and it would be on the show. People would go, see, John says that all he cares about is himself. But like rational people would be like, he's fucking around, whatever. But then when he's like, no, I'm kidding, though. It's like, oh, well, maybe it is true that he only cares about himself.
Well, we get back to his old tricks here with the handsome dog.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Rob, keep your hands off these beasts.
Yeah.
I went to the gym this morning. I took my my Yorkie Jake to
my aunt like six
get
packs
groomed, and then I walked right over to the gym. Did about an hour and a half in the gym, and then I picked my Yorkie up. He looks handsome. I get to show you, Jake, come here. Jake, come here. He was the whole way I was walking him home on his leash. Like people weren't paying him attention, and he like was feeling himself, like because he got a haircut, so he wanted people to like pay attention to him, and they wouldn't pay attention to him, and he was getting
Rob.
So
I don't know if you saw last week, Craig, when we were talking. He puts these human traits. He's like, no, the dogs were looking for my attention. That's what people don't understand is the dogs really wanted me to jerk them off or whatever he's doing with these animals. He's like, the dogs wanted it. And he's like, listen, the dog is he's feeling himself and he really wants attention. And that's where I started to be like, Rob is putting traits on these animals that they simply don't have. They're just dogs. They don't know if people are like, they're lowering their glasses. They're like, who is that? You must be new in town. Who is that handsome devil? No, Rob. No one's thinking that, except it seems like maybe you are thinking, like, that is one sexy dog.
Like he really is like, he's a smart dog. He feels himself when he gets a fresh cut,
Well,
he's smart. He's funny. He's really cool. It's not just that he's sexy. That's not the only reason I like him.
You like the same books?
Oh, John, my dog said the cutest thing the other day. He's like one of those guys that has to shoehorn his girlfriend in every subject. No, John, you're going to love this. He said the funniest thing.
I don't know if you've been following what's been going on, but you know, Shuley's former executive producer got.
By the way, he muted himself and he's calling his dog while John's talking.
You keep your fucking mouth shut.
He's going, Jake.
Arrested for having over 6,000 pictures and videos.
How many?
Over 6,000 of young children being.
And this isn't a producer that he played video games with, and
yes, played video games with, and
oh my god,
so
still doing this
to him, right?
Oh yeah. You remember 2 months ago when we talked about Shuley's producer getting arrested?
Yep.
Their big crusade for the last month and a half or so has been, they're tiptoeing around just straight up calling Shuley a pedophile, basically. They're trying to insinuate that Shuley is involved. Now, I will say, what's weird, there's something going on that I'm not aware of. Hey, Cardiff or Carl or someone, tell me behind the scenes. I won't spoil it. There's something that happened with Cumia where I guess Cumia texted John and Kevin Brennan and was like, hey, there's a lot more to the Shuley stuff. I'm not doing his show anymore. And Cumia was like, and that's coming from me, which...
Cumia said that to Stuttering John. I highly doubt that.
So they checked it. I guess it was Cumia's phone number, supposedly. And Cumia hasn't been on Shuley's show since then and hasn't addressed it. So I don't know what's going on. You're right, though. It does feel like something fishy. The idea that Cumia would reach out to Stuttering John and be like, hey, buddy, you and me are the rational ones here.
Right.
You know, so I don't know what's going, but maybe something's going on with Shuley. I don't know the man, whatever. But John and Rob are straight up trying to implicate him in pedophilia, and that's been their crusade for the last month and a half or so.
Yeah, I denounce all of that. That's stupid and gross.
It's weird. I mean, maybe who knows?
Listen to me, and this is in my honest opinion. I consulted my attorney about what is the way that you say it. And since I've never hung out with this shit where I know what I ever want to, but in my honest opinion, as an observer of what happened, this guy Isolino, who I never even knew that there was a guy named Isolino, to be honest with you.
John always says that as if it's some way of saying like, which means I'm not a pedophile.
It wasn't me.
I didn't know Isolino existed, and therefore I don't have child porn. It's like, okay, well, even if you knew him, it doesn't matter.
Is it what is this one? Nope. That was the end of that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Next we have Rochester.
Oh yeah, so he's talking about ISO, the guy who got arrested for child porn. And this is where he's also like suggesting that Carl has something to do with this. I just think it's funny what John thinks of like Rochester news. So for those that aren't aware, when I guess ISO originally got arrested in 2023, and then it all came to light this year. I don't know enough about the case or anything, but John is about to explain here why Carl definitely knew about this long before the rest of us.
No, so Isolino gets arrested in 2023 in the city, the shithole city of Rochester. Now, Rob,
He's in Rochester.
Now, we know who else is in Rochester.
Yes, Lady K.
Yes. Now, Rochester is not, it's a small town.
Yeah, well, you know, I will say that Lady K married the opposite type of Iso's picks.
Hold on. Go back. Listen to all John has been doing for months is saying that Lady K's wife is ancient. She's the oldest lady that ever lived. I think she's like a few years older than Carl. So I guess you're not supposed to marry a woman who's older than you. So John has been like, she's an ugly old bag. And so Rob sets him up with a perfect like, hey, Carl certainly ain't no pedophile. You know what he's into. And listen to John the comedic genius really pick up on this and run with it.
Of Iso's picks.
I don't get it.
Yeah, well, Isolino had 6,000 images of young people, and Carl's married to the elderly. Is what I'm.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But anyway, so
hey, I'm trying to call the guy a pedophile here. Don't get in my way.
No, that goes against my point.
How does John not get what it wasn't a great joke, but how does John not get what he's trying to? All they do is call this guy's wife an old lady. Rob clearly is referring to that, and John's like, I don't understand. What do you mean? Why can't he diddle kids? What are you trying to say, Rob?
That Carl didn't know that Isolino, Shuli's producer, got arrested. There is no way, in my honest opinion, because Rochester, it was all over the news, all over the TV.
Yeah, they all knew, and just like, Shuli does this.
So I guess John thinks it's like 1958, where it's like, report, ISO arrested for pedophilia, Rochester News. Like, I don't, there's, I looked it up. There's 211,000 people in Rochester, New York. I feel like if one of them, like if someone in, I live in Waltham, Massachusetts, it's only 44,000 people. If some diddler got arrested today, I don't know that I would know about it, would I, necessarily?
No, unless you have like Waltham alerts to your phone.
Which I do. When one of my boys when Craig goes down, I'll know about it. I'm very tapped into that world. But like John's acting like this is like, I don't know, a town with like 4,000 people where everyone gossips. It's like one of the larger cities in New York, right? Obviously not outside of New York City and Long Island and all that, but
yeah.
But John's like, he would have read it in the newspaper. Carl's walking to the end of his driveway every morning in his slippers and robe and grabbing the Rochester Gazette and going, headline today, Shuli's producer arrested for pedophilia.
Tony Soprano did it.
He certainly did. Yeah. Carl is the Tony Soprano of Rochester. But it's like, what? So you're telling me the newspaper is going to report like Uncle Rico producer?
Yeah,
he's not a celebrity, John. Why would it be in the newspapers?
I think it makes him feel better that he interacts with them. It's
very funny though that he's like Carl knew, Shuli knew, they all knew, but this guy was the greatest defensive coordinator in Big East history, so they were covering for him. Was Penn State in the Big East? That's what I was going for.
I don't know college football at all. I have to ask HACKRIDE.
Yeah, whatever. All right, moving on.
More lawsuits.
This is just what we needed. More fucking law. I was hoping. I said, guys, stuff isn't like serious enough now. We should really focus in on calling each other pedophiles and suing one another. That seems like the funniest option.
Definitely.
Here's the thing, Rob. Shitway doesn't know what's coming down a pike. These guys don't know what's coming down a pike. But by saying that I don't have a degree is defamatory. And the reason why it is really defamatory is because you couldn't teach at LAUSD without a college degree. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So now by them saying that I never graduated, they're then implying that I defrauded the Los Angeles Unified School District.
Yeah.
That's a felony.
So it's a felony. So John is claiming because I guess they said like he didn't graduate NYU, which I don't know if he did or not. I assume he did. Who gives a fuck?
No one.
Who could possibly care about that? The only reason it's funny is that John is arguing it this way. But so I guess Shuli said John didn't graduate from college. And now John's argument is that's defamation.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't graduate college, I'd be defrauding the state of California. And it's like, yeah, but if you did graduate college, you're not defrauding them. So who gives a fuck? It's like if I said, Craig's never produced a podcast before. and then Craig got fired from his job. It's like, well, what do you mean? They just did that because I said he's never produced? He's producing podcasts. It's not that big a deal. Like, the LAUSD would look into it and see, oh, he did graduate college. Like, who gives a fuck?
Anyway.
There's no defamation case here.
Start whistling away.
Yeah, but John thinks he's obviously Vince told him this to fuck with him, I assume. Or some lawyer doesn't understand what happened. They only hear John's side. I don't know exactly where John got this information, but someone's fucking with him or misinformed. And John is running with this like he's got another new lawsuit on his hands.
I watched what they fucking say when they're going to make up lies about me.
Well, I'll give the Schulz, because I know they're going to be watching this because that's all they do. This is your only material. I'm going to give you an opportunity to take back the lies you make up about me and dogs, because I'm getting mail sent to my house. I'm getting threats, and it's all have to do with
out of left field. Just out of nowhere. Rob is like, and I don't fuck dogs.
You know, I got another court case coming. I don't fuck any animals.
So Rob now is going to hop in on this lawsuit and say, yeah, and they say I stick my hard prick in dogs. And I don't do that.
HACKRIDE, Penn State is Big Ten.
Big Ten, I'm sorry. Were they always, though?
I don't fucking know.
Maybe they were. I don't know.
Me talking on the show, laughing about taking my dog to the vet because he had a problem downstairs and the vet took care of it. But now you are stating on your shows, and we have clips of it, as fact that I do weird stuff, or not even weird stuff. You comment.
Hey, I'm sorry, Rob. Can you prove you don't do weird stuff with dogs?
I mean, there's a dog on his lap that we do or do not. We have no idea if his dick's inside it or not.
Yeah, Rob, how about you try proving you don't do weird stuff? If you want this to go to court, I'm going to start needing to see some proof, buddy. Do you do weird stuff with dogs? I think the burden of proof is now on you, my friend.
Dog's just sitting on his lap right now. Just being totally fucking abused.
Do you think he's pantless?
He might be pantless. Can't tell.
I don't know that he's not.
Yeah.
Sue us, Rob.
Sexually abused dogs, and you say it as fact, and it is going to be a problem because it's starting to affect stuff being sent to my house. Me being
dog bones.
Trust me, Stuart has no idea. Look, I'm coming to Alabama.
he got like bras with like 12 nipples sent to him.
The kind of collars that Portnoy used in that video.
Yeah.
They're sending stuff to my house. Well, to be fair, Rob, they're trying to arouse your guests. What's wrong with that?
I got pounds of Blue Buffalo food.
Well, guys, I'm just saying, don't send. Legitimately, you shouldn't send stuff to Rob's house. But if you do send stuff to Rob's house, it definitely shouldn't be things that arouse dogs.
He talks very romantically about the canines.
He talks about how handsome they are. He's like, look at this guy. He's strutting his stuff.
He's got a full pump going. Next, we have Alabama.
So you heard John just say there, he's going to Alabama. Now, he's been threatening this for months also. Let's hear why he's going to Alabama. This is very interesting. I think I have something to add to this that you might not know, because usually John bullshits, but there is something interesting here that he's alluding to.
That's a fact check. I am coming to Alabama. Now, I'm not coming to do anything nefarious. I'm not coming to do anything violent, YouTube terms of service. There is a legal reason why I'm coming to Alabama. And that legal reason, because what the shitware doesn't know, what he's doing is not allowed. Is not allowed, especially in Alabama.
So that's, if I could just add to this, that sounds like usual John bullshit. But I looked into it a little bit because I was just interested. I was like, what is this asshole talking about? And I actually did. You know those, like, it always gets brought up like those horseshit laws that have been on the books for 100 years. Like in Indiana, you can't walk down the street with an ice cream cone in your pocket or whatever. It seems like what John is going to quote, and not a lot of people know this. In the state of Alabama, this was passed in, I think, like 1984 or something. It is actually illegal if Stuttering John Melendez travels to the state of Alabama. It's illegal to make fun of him. And not a lot of people know that law is on the books. So John is going to go physically stand in Alabama and dare Shuli to make fun of him. And then he's going to take advantage of this old law that's on the books that no one really listens to. But if John takes advantage of it, I think he's got a case.
Wouldn't Shuli have to be in Alabama, though?
He is. Well, Shuli lives in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
That's where this all started, yeah.
I thought John was like, what state can they not do this? I'm gonna do that.
Oh, that'd be great if he was just looking for a state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's like, especially in Alabama. I don't know what he's referring to. I'm guessing Alabama has some sort of defamation laws that are different or something. I really don't know what he's referring to, but John has been threatening to go to Alabama for months. He's very lazy. He's not going to go to Alabama. John also has been alluding to some job that he has.
Alabama's just as strict on memes as they are abortion.
Yes. Alabama, the senator, I don't know if you know this, the senator of Alabama said, stop being mean to John.
It's part of their platform.
He's writing it in the law in December. If you re-elect this man,
I'm just campaigning for him.
Lawyers in my research, so you'll see. It'll come out soon. But these guys, they don't understand. They don't have money. I have money. They don't have money.
Oh, good.
Oh, you have money now? What happened?
That's a great argument to make in a defamation case, where you have to prove that you have lost wages. It's great to say, I have a ton of money, and these people have none. These people aren't powerful or wealthy at all, and I have a bunch of money, and I'm going to go to a court and make the case that they've caused me to lose everything. That's really smart, John.
Next, we have Cardiff, who just messaged me.
What did he say?
I think he sent me a clip of creepy Rob Saul, which I'm going to probably listen to.
I say we play it on the air.
Okay.
Do you trust him?
I never don't trust him.
Yeah, I say we play it.
All right. Well, I'll play this clip while I find it.
Okay, good.
But I'm not a coward like the shitware. That's why you have this fucking potato who is suffering the curse of the Duke right now because he's gone from YouTube and he's on Rumble that nobody watches. And he had the audacity to say that I'm a dickhead because I stayed in my house during the hurricane.
He had the audacity. Hold on a second. Hold on. First of all, it's a real rational guy when he refers to, like, if I said, like, they're suffering from the curse of Geary. Actually, it's not even that. If I said they're suffering from the curse of the king, and I'm referring to myself, the curse of the Duke, a nickname I gave myself. So Cardiff's channel got taken down. It's very stupid, by the way. It actually has nothing to do with John, really. It's just YouTube's dumb rules. But they fucking nuked his channel, which I think is crazy. But also, I don't support that. Hey, YouTube, I don't support what he did, just so you know. Don't take me down with him. But he brings up Cardiff out of nowhere. This is where, like, John actually does kind of have wet brain, is like, enemies come and go. When a name pops back into his mind, he's like, oh yeah, I hate that guy. So I guess Cardiff, and I watched some of this. I remember, like, Cardiff made fun of John. Not even made fun of him. I think there was actual, like, empathy or sympathy. Because John, when people thought the hurricane was going to be really bad, John was like, yeah, everyone's telling me to leave, but I'm not going to bother. Like, literally, Brian Karam, one of the political guys he has on, Brian Karam was texting him and like, John, I just got out of a press conference that involved the National Weather Service. Get the fuck out of there. You don't want to be in your area of Florida. It's going to be bad. And John's like, yeah, but like, what am I going to do? So I texted my kids, in case I don't make it, I love you. And it was like this really sad stuff. And I think Cardiff was actually talking about it like, boy, that's John, just listen to people. People cared about you. Get out of there. And so John, for some reason, is mad that Cardiff was like, John's an idiot for staying in Florida. And so this is John flexing. But I think he also somewhat misunderstands what exactly Cardiff was saying.
Supposed to do.
He's saying, I'm trying to be a hero, and it makes sense why Cardiff would think that is heroic to stay in the house.
No. John, you've misunderstood something. Saying, oh, this guy's trying to be a hero and looking at you as heroic are two very different things. John's like, well, I understand why he has a poster of me on his wall.
He loves me.
Not heroic at all. But the reason why a guy like that would say that is because he's such a coward. He has to hide behind a filter and a mask. He doesn't know what being brave means.
Yeah.
You can't get me, Hurricane Milton. I have a potato filter. What are you talking about, John? You think if a Cardiff blew through Canada or Minnesota or wherever Cardiff lives, if a hurricane was blowing in, Cardiff would just hold up a potato picture and be like, oh, I hope I'm safe now.
Oh.
It doesn't make any sense.
I do have the clip.
Let's play that before we get back to these two numbskulls.
It's from Potato Soup.
Oh, no, this is just self-promotion.
Maybe.
All right, we'll trust him. We'll give it a few seconds. Guys, go watch Cardiff on Rumble. John says no one watches, but I think Cardiff is worth it. So go subscribe.
Isn't the worst video on his TikTok.
This is not going to do you any favors.
Describe it to me.
This is Rob Saul naked in a hot tub on his.
Oh, I've heard about this. Take it off the screen. I don't want this Rumble rabble-rouser getting me in trouble. I have heard about this. Yeah, Rob Saul's TikTok is an abomination. Well, thank you, Cardiff. Although I think Cardiff is trying to get me taken down. He's trying to bring everyone to Rumble with him.
I do like his Halloween filter. It's the potato dressed as a vampire.
He's very cute.
Yeah. Next we got under this. This is like my favorite part of these clips.
Okay.
Just getting under Rob's skin.
Hey guys, stop! Obviously, Rob doesn't like the dog jokes. He doesn't like the aunt jokes. So enough already. All right.
Don't.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Do you remember what happened when Joe Biden said that?
I don't.
He said, Iran. What do you think about Iran bombing Israel? And he goes, don't. The next day, they fucking blew him to fucking.
Well, he tried. You can't say he didn't try.
That's right. Let's see.
This is light brown pubes. Thanks for doing this. Rob definitely fucked his aunt. I was there.
No, I gotta say,
it is funny every time.
I'm gonna suggest this is someone that shouldn't be taken seriously. I don't think, even if Rob consummated a relationship with his aunt, I don't think this guy was there, if I'm being honest with you.
If true, definitely not.
If true, I suspect this guy wasn't there. So I would say water off a duck's back.
I do enjoy that the stretch in this story isn't Rob fucking his aunt. It's this guy being there.
No. Like, what a man does behind closed doors, whatever. I just don't think this guy in the chat was there to watch it if it happened.
This is light brown pubes. Thanks for doing this. Rob definitely fucked his aunt. I was there.
That's hilarious, sir.
Hold on. There's a lot here. We're ignoring the fact. This is how crazy John's life is now. We're ignoring the fact that the commenter was Osa's light brown pubes, which is John's mother. We're just ignoring that John is reading that chat.
He's reading that perfectly fine. And Rob just can't handle it. He's like, oh, very funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. This is John, Rob. This is exactly how you should play it if you don't like these jokes. Now, I understand when a joke is made a lot, it gets old. But it seems like this guy's coming up with a new fun twist on it, Rob. Was he there? Why don't you tell us?
This is light brown pubes. Thanks for doing us. Rob definitely fucked his aunt. I was there.
That's hilarious, sir. Yes.
Hilarious, but is it true? Was he there, Rob? Why are you ignoring this?
Can you confirm or deny, sir?
Yeah, Vince, see, and it starts stuff like that, Vince, and that's why you don't just go on shows willy-nilly saying, yeah, Rob well, now this guy's saying, I don't... Well,
I don't want to say this, but I got some DMs about this guy.
Okay.
And I heard, I shouldn't say this, but I heard Rob also fingered his uncle.
Oh, come on, Greg. Now, I don't believe that, and you know what the worst of it is? Now people are going to say it to him online.
He fingered his uncle.
No.
A lot of people.
You mean he accused him of a crime, is what you're saying?
Nope, people like he fingered his uncle.
Either one's where that I'm trying to fuck my aunt and I couldn't close the deal, or that I mean,
it's funny
one.
every time.
I mean, just stop. It's stupid.
It seems like what really bugs Rob is the idea that he couldn't fuck her. I so could fuck her. She's easy. I've gotten way hotter than my aunt before.
John just puts a chat as he's saying this on the screen. I know he's going to read it, but it's just funny. John is a pedophile. Guys, put one in the chat if you think Rob did his aunt.
Oh, you're going to hear how they react to the ones in the chat. So, well, let's let them take it away.
Chris Toothel is pissed that it was confidential and I shared it.
Oh, well, it's wrong of you guys to be doing stuff like that, because now I worry that people are going to say it to Rob Saul.
Poor uncle, though. No one even thinks about him.
No, well, that's the problem with men who are the victims of sexual assault in this country.
But the thing is, though, it does sound like he did close with his uncle.
Good. He was suave enough to do that.
Yeah.
One in the chat, if you think Rob did his aunt, how old are you? Seriously, how old are you?
A lot of
we're children, John. That's the point of all this. You're reacting to children pointing and laughing at you. We're just having a fucking silly time. It's silly to be like, hey, put a one in the chat if you think Rob fucked his aunt. But what really gives us a laugh is you guys going, oh, real funny. Oh, real mature. John, do you remember being like when you were a kid and a substitute teacher was in and you'd fuck with him a little bit? You know what would really get the kids to settle down is when the teacher would go, oh, real funny, guys, real mature. Why don't we act our age, huh? What are you guys, second graders? Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
That would always get kids to be like, oh, then I guess we'll stop.
I want to know if other people heard this. So put a 69 in our chat if you think he did finger his uncle.
Well, I don't like you spreading this vicious rumor.
I mean, enough people. I have to.
That I don't stand by.
Don't.
Writing ones. It's like.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like.
That's really going to get under Rob's skin. It doesn't. Listen.
It did.
What you guys do don't get under Rob's skin.
No, it definitely didn't. You could that's the voice of a man who is unbothered by all of this.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of 69s in our chat right now.
Oh, I was afraid of that.
Jeez.
Damn it. Hey, oh, and what, Craig, what did you use the number 69 because you're a child? Yes, of course. This is all silly. We're making goofs.
There is a lot of 69s in the chat. It's very funny. Poor fucking
it's the funniest number, so that's what really makes it fun.
Yeah.
I just told, but I wouldn't hang out with any of you because you're losers.
Oh, come on. Please, Rob. Don't take that away from me. I've been looking for a good dog orgy. I've been saying, where is the best? And I'm afraid that if I now have made these jokes, you're not going to take me to the hottest spots in town.
Anywhere with Vince the lawyer, if he's going to go around trolling and making up allegations that I'm trying to sleep with basically my mom.
I like that he keeps making that caveat as if we'll be like, hey, come on, gang. The lady was raised him like a mother. Let's, we're not soulless. He wouldn't fuck a mother figure. We can all agree with that. But here I am.
here I am like an asshole. I make fun of Rob Saul, but I still thought at the end of the day, he would tell me the best jar of peanut butter to rub on my balls. I thought we were friends that I could go to with advice. And it turns out he wouldn't hang out with any of us, and that makes me sad.
Fucker.
I know, it's upsetting.
In our last clip from this, our good pal Penis Wrinkle 12.
This is where you know an unhinged man is when you start taking aim at Penis Wrinkle. Now, I don't know. Is Penis Wrinkle a troll?
No.
I don't know that about Penis Wrinkle. I don't know whether or not Penis Wrinkle is out to agitate people online, have a goof, make fun of others. I don't know if that's the goal of Penis Wrinkle. Perhaps Penis Wrinkle is a very serious man who wants to get to the bottom of serious topics. And when Penis Wrinkle makes an accusation, I think we should all take it very seriously, like Rob does here.
Penis Wrinkle 12, thanks for the $2. Rob, did you post yourself nude in a hot tub on TikTok?
Oh, that's what we were just watching.
Well, I'll be damned.
Thank you, Cardiff.
A bathing suit, and I was not nude. But yes, in 2020, I was very drunk, and I was drinking wine, singing Red Wine in a hot tub.
Well,
and if you want to make fun of that, you're a child. Who would ever make fun of that? Was I nude in a hot tub singing Red Wine and then decided to post that on an app that 15-year-olds use?
Quick.
Sure.
Somebody find out what his aunt's favorite song is now.
Sure, I did all of that. But if you want to be a child and make fun of that, that's on you. That's for you to live with. That's a guilty conscience that you have to take stock in for the rest of your days.
My bet is that's his aunt's favorite song, and that's him subtweeting her.
What's up, girl?
Just drinking it in the fucking tub.
I don't know. What are you up to? I'm just singing Red Wine, diddling myself a little bit in the hot tub. Hot tub's nice and warm. If you want to stop by, whatever.
Ever use TikTok? I don't know. I don't know.
I can't even delete that TikTok.
Why?
Penis Wrinkle 12, thanks for the
Why? Hold on. Why can't you?
See, I feel like it's easy.
I can't. My aunt still hasn't responded to it. I don't know if she's coming over or not.
I'm proving I'm not a loser.
She hasn't commented on how fit I am.
That kind of sus, seems predatory.
Listen, and that's another thing. I have this guy blocked everywhere, and it's going to be to the point where I'm not even going to go on up here anywhere if I have to interact with this guy. No, TikTok is not a kids app.
It's not.
Everybody's on the app. So
yes, everybody's on it, and there's only one thing that
we get it. Penis Wrinkle, you're defending it because you are fans of pedophiles.
Nice. Nice. You got him with us. Hey, that's a good serious comeback you had there, Rob. Penis Wrinkle. Is this a comedy show, by the way? The show that John does? Is it supposed to be like a comedy show?
It hasn't been in quite some time.
Or is it just like a law show? There's a lot more talk of lawsuits than any jokes made. But on this show, Penis Wrinkle said, Rob's probably on there because it's a kids app. And Rob goes, actually, it's not a kid's app, Penis Wrinkle. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's fun. You like pedophiles. It's like, oh, all right. I guess I do.
John, I don't want any more interaction with this guy.
Okay.
I blocked him from my
yeah, I'm getting rid of him.
What a fucking
I just don't want
pussy.
anything to do with him.
If Penis Wrinkle is here, I walk.
What a fucking pussy. This is like aggravating under his skin. This is aggravating me.
It's a man who's not built for the thing he's doing. Like Rob Saul, I don't know. I looked and he hasn't posted a show in a couple days. I don't know what his schedule's like. But it's a man who's built his show. He's like, I don't have anything to talk about. So I'm just going to go live and let people insult me for money. They'll throw me $2, $5, whatever, here and there. And I'll read their insults and then say, oh, yeah, well, you're a loser. And that's like Rob Saul's business model. And yet the people that are like, hey, Rob, you're a loser. He's like, I might sue you, first of all. And I'll never appear on a show you're on. Do you hear me, Penis Wrinkle?
Pat Ford needs his head checked. He's obsessed with this guy.
Why? What'd he say?
He says he can't get enough of this guy.
Well, I understand. I'm with him actually.
You're both out of your mind.
Why is that?
He just watches this guy's show constantly.
I've never I don't really watch his show. I watched it once to see what he did, and I was like, oh, he's trying to do what Kevin Brennan does, basically. But
No, he watches every episode from what he's telling me.
well, that's psychotic.
That's what I'm saying.
Pat Ford, we'll start covering Rob Saul more just so to spare you from that. That's a crazy way to live your life. You have kids, Pat.
Well, fast forward. I mean, rewind a couple days, and that's why he's on KMS going like, "Yeah, the Dabbleverse." Like
It was. By the way, it was out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Just out of, he's like Mike has a good Dabbleverse show, and Kirk was like, huh? And Pat's just like he's the Dabbleverse, Rob Saul's. I was like, Pat, no, not here.
Stop it.
Wake up.
Like I said, I've already been talking with the police, and they said if
This
it
guy
continues,
sucks so much shit.
then-
Whoa, I forgot about this. We've talked so much about Rob Saul's horseshit. I forgot the reason I clipped this. He's gone to the police about penis.
What a fucking loser.
911. I don't know his name, but he goes by Penis Wrinkle, and he's saying that I have sex with my aunt.
Golly, like what a homo.
What do you mean there are no laws against this?
I know what John should have said to him.
What's that?
Shut up, you faggot.
Well, in a different time, maybe he would have. Go ahead. What else might have John said?
Listen. Oh yeah.
There's one more thing John might have said to him.
He kept complaining.
Yeah.
You fucking cocksucker, bone smoking faggot homo piece of shit.
Well, I don't condone any of that, but that's John Melendez for you.
I'm an ally.
What do you think Rob Saul says to the police?
Excuse me, officer. Don't stop looking at my dog.
Ring, ring. Yes, 911. They've been saying, wait a minute, but they said you fucked your aunt, right? Not that you couldn't close the deal. They what? We'll be right there.
They arrest him for charges for his uncle.
Sir, I didn't realize they said you were too much of a loser. I thought they were just implying that you had sex with your aunt.
I hate this guy.
Hello, police.
Harry Sisson, this guy.
Penis Wrinkle is being mean to me. Guys, the police are not hall monitors in middle school, okay? The police are not there for you to go, hello, police. People are being mean to me online. That's not what the police are there for. And by the way, to everyone that wanted to defund the police, I assume it's not many people watching this show, but anyone that wanted to defund the police, listen to the shit they have to deal with, okay?
Means I'm gay.
If they get agitated and pull their gun once in a while, it's because of this. Craig hasn't dusted off that soundboard in a while, so
It has been a while.
I've already been talking with the police, and they said if it continues, then we're going to have to like move forward and try to.
Can I translate that for you, Rob? The police said, "Okay, well, that's nothing. So I guess if it gets worse, let us know." Like if he shows up at your house or makes violent threats to you. But right now, we cannot arrest Penis Wrinkle for saying that you're attracted to your schnauzer. There's no law on the books that we can cite. There's not even a stretch we can make to try and arrest this man. Never mind trying to find someone under the name Penis Wrinkle.
Like you said, it is wasting resources.
Yep.
All right, so I won't put it.
Matter of fact,
I will find people like this, but I'm not going to just constantly like block this guy everywhere. And then,
yeah. Oh, hey, it's wasting resources, but I'll be damned. I'll waste them. So what? So it's a complete waste of the cops' time, energy, and money.
but I'm going to do it anyways. Because Penis Wrinkle has been very mean to me. Poor Penis Wrinkle.
I know. I guess
Penis Wrinkle, you're welcome in our chat anytime, buddy.
always. Got some super chats here.
All right.
Suburban Tug Time, $5. HACKRIDE is a virgin.
I don't believe that's true.
I don't believe that's true either.
Oh, you know what? HACKRIDE might be, although he's been undead for so many years.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Associate producer Ralph, $2.79.
Well, thank you, buddy.
You know what? Who I think that might be?
Who's that? Oh, it's Cardiff Electric.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I mean, it's not Cardiff Electric. It's Ralph, who's a different guy.
That's right. I just saw the amount he super chat and I went, only one other person's ever done that.
I like that. For anyone that doesn't know, Cardiff is a character named Ralph. The only difference between him and Cardiff is he says "sir" at the end of every sentence. That's the only difference.
He says Blind Mike should prove he's not blind and gay.
Want to watch me fuck my girlfriend, pal?
That
actually might not prove it, so I don't know.
I was going to say he'll also take you up on that.
Yeah.
Joe from Virginia, $2.
Just stop paying it. You already paid for an ad.
Have a good show, boys. Thanks for everything.
Well, thank you, buddy. And remember to go to J37shop.com. Am I getting that right?
J37shop.com.
J37shop.com for all your electronics, gaming, all kinds of stuff they have there. It's an eBay store, so go check it out, J37shop.com. You're supporting that man, right? Give him the $2 back he just sent us.
Why would he do that?
Thank you, buddy.
I come buckets, $2. Dogs are gross, but kids, am I right, Craig?
Well, that's a different argument to be had. We're not here to goof on Craig today. He's been off for a while. We're trying to, How are the monitors? Sexy? Any hot stuff going on?
They're nice and calm.
Good.
Not sedated. They're just calm. Texas Bjorn Wrong gifted 5 Blind Mike Project memberships.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Yeah, feel free to gift those memberships away.
Radish gifted 1 Blind Mike Project membership. It's tough to kind of do that right after Texas Bjorn Wrong, though. Am I right?
No, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Dang Lizard, £5. I didn't put 69 in the chat because I didn't want to seem like a child in front of Craigers. But I know, but I know for a fact Rob fingered his uncle. I was there.
It's all humor in general is childish,
Yeah.
Like these guys that are like, oh, these jokes are childish. Yeah, all of that. There are no funny jokes that aren't childish, I would say.
Well, if that guy's saying he was there when he fingered his uncle, we have to run it as truth because that's what Rob does.
That's true. That's a good point.
And Joseph Kane sent a super sticker.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. That is all caught up there.
Yeah. So let's get into Crystalia for the first time in a while, shall we?
Yeah.
This one, I don't know if this will take too long. Every once in a while I like to check in on Crystalia and what he's up to. Because his show fascinates me. This man just sitting in a room alone, I don't think plays to his strengths necessarily, but let's dive into it. This is the latest Congratulations podcast. And you may remember, Craig, a tell that he has. When he starts singing, he's hiding something.
He's hiding something.
Something's going on when he starts singing. If you don't know, go back to the archives when we talked about Crystalia around Christmas time a couple of years ago.
His wife's like, what were you up to this weekend? Nothing.
The weather outside is frightful. So yeah, when Crystalia starts singing, it's a tell of his. But let's hear this time.
I woke up this morning and took my kids to school. But I didn't actually. I didn't. Woke up this morning and took my kids to school. Said in the way of the opening credits to, what do you call it? Sopranos.
We got it.
You
might think
I was going to take.
I didn't actually get it.
Oh, really?
I'm glad he said.
I could tell that's what he was going for, but
Well, that's fine. You're doing a show by yourself. You have weird little interstitials like that. You kind of like you get a little crazy if you're broadcasting alone. So you just fill the space. You don't even know if it's funny or not. So that's probably the end of that singing, I imagine. He moves on to other things.
Calvin to school. Billy doesn't have school yet, but I was going to take Calvin to school. And I didn't because Kristen did, because she had to go to do something there at the school anyway. And we woke up and I had just gotten in like last night from Alabama. Was there for too long.
Chris, I've got to warn you.
Chris, you have so many lawsuits.
Chris, don't make fun of Stuttering John while you're there. and don't do a lot of other shit you're probably going to do.
10:30, both of us woke up this morning. I thought I'd take my kid to school, but didn't, and Kristen did, because she had to be there anyway. And so I
psychotic.
So I
don't know if you ever watched what was his show? Oh my god, Undateable, is that it?
Oh yes, no, I never watched it.
He would sing on the show all the time.
Okay, so that had to be improv?
I don't know.
Because this is constant on his show, where his show is just, he'll be making points. It would be the most manic way to talk to someone, where like you're listening to him and just out of nowhere, he gets this melody in his head. There's no reason to relate it to The Sopranos, other than the fact that he woke up.
He was way too high pitched.
He woke up this morning. So I guess that's the tie-in. But it keeps coming back. Listen to this.
I think kids would be better off if they don't listen to the Sopranos song before going to school.
Kids should be in school if Chris D'Elia is around. Make sure you stay where there's an adult present.
It was a got myself a gun joke.
Oh, I missed it. I'm
I
sorry.
stayed in bed. And then she said, "Can I have some help getting them ready?" And I said, "What the heck? When I do it all alone." And she said, "No,
go back."
I said, "Yeah,
Go back, because we are going to see some classic D'Elia here, where there is passive aggression like no other. Now, again, I don't know what their home life is like, but this man has publicly embarrassed her time and again.
Oh, he has no control.
There's a documentary made about how much he doesn't give a fuck about this woman's feelings. He's fucking Snapchatting while she's in the car. Like, there's all kinds of shit in the documentary, The Chris D'Elia Problem. And yet he always airs out his passive-aggressive digs at her on this podcast. So listen to how he's arguing. But yet, I guess he thinks if he sings it, it's fun.
It isn't? I thought he seems like he's having a great time.
Well, we're having fun.
And then she said, "Can I have some help getting them ready?" And I said, "What the heck? When I do it all alone." And she said, "No, I help you sometimes." And I say, "Yeah, but that was your choice. Let me stay in bed." And she didn't. And I got up and I helped. And I woke up anyway. Might as well take them to school.
Oh, God.
It's psychotic.
What's it like?
And it's also like arguing with his wife when she's not there. And it's just these petty arguments. Like if you were around a couple having that argument where it's like, yeah, you didn't help me with the kids this morning. Well, I do sometimes, though. If you're sitting next to that couple at dinner, you're like, okay, guys, can we get back to just a regular conversation?
Let's talk about anything else, please.
Like, who's tuning in? I don't know Chris's audience. Maybe people are tuning in like, how's he going to take passive-aggressive digs at her this week? How's he going to not have his wife on and complain about her asking him to care for his children? That bitch. But it's also just the energy. Take out the substance of what he's saying. Like who is that? Again, I get he has enough of an audience that I guess they like it. But it's strange to me to watch a man that just breaks into song. Like you're watching. Kirk has talked about how he doesn't like musicals because it's just weird to watch where out of nowhere they break into song.
Yeah.
At least you know you're watching a musical.
Correct. I can't wait to have a few laughs.
This is a podcast where you're just like, let me hear what Chris has to say about the world. And out of nowhere, he's like, you know the Sopranos theme?
I'm going to sing nothing like it.
I'm going to do that for 10 minutes, kind of.
Oh, this is Rosa Parks.
This is just a weird take. I think Craig will be on board with this.
I don't think so.
Craig always, he's like, that lazy bitch. You know? And He's always giving me theories, and I think Chris is trying to appeal to that segment of the population.
So much history happened there, with like
Montgomery, Alabama.
Jr. and Rosa Parks and shit. That's just crazy to me. That
It's tough to make a sound when you're talking about that.
Whatever. Selma. Bullshit.
Rosa Parks and shit. That's just crazy to me. That's crazy that's what happened. I was just walking around, my hands in my pockets, just like, this is where Rosa Parks got picked up from the bus, huh? Yeah, her husband did have a car, and that's something that we didn't learn until recently, and that's kind of weird. I feel like people thought it was a little bit racist to bring up the fact that, like, well, Rosa Parks' husband did have a car. So
I don't understand
what they did.
I don't get the argument he's trying to make.
Do you ever?
The husband was probably using the car, so she had to take the bus. Does he understand? The argument was not that Rosa Parks probably had another mode of transportation. Hey, lady, you could have gotten to work a different way. So either sit in the back or shut up. What is the argument he's making here?
I don't know.
Race and racial issues. It's just, I don't think they lose. I don't think that blacks lose anything as a whole because the husband had a car, but they sure were quiet about that after it happened, is all I'm saying. Okay.
I don't think so. Was anyone like, yeah, well, as we all know, blacks aren't allowed to own cars in the 60s. It's like, no, one did.
Wow. Who gave him a loan?
That wasn't the argument. It was that they should be able to sit wherever they want on the bus, Chris. Chris, I don't know if you're aware of this. Still to this day, people with cars are allowed to ride the bus. It was not car owners that were being racially discriminated.
He's such a fucking idiot.
Chris, do you understand? It's not like when there's, signs on different, this keeps coming up on the show today. If there's a sign in a restaurant that says a certain type of person is not allowed, they don't hold up the deed to their vehicle and say, no, I got my license and registration right here. No. It's more the color of their skin they were worried about, I think.
I need Coach HP to interview this man so bad.
Oh, with that, I'll tell you what wouldn't be brought up that day.
We're talking only the positives.
Or there would be a very interesting argument on age of consent made by Coach HP.
16 is fucking borderline old anyway.
I remember when I was 16, I was very thirsty for young ladies. So I don't see why the same wouldn't be true of young women.
I mean, if Rosa Parks had a podcast, if they had podcasts back then, the fucking dude, people would have been on Twitter. Your husband had a car, bitch. Charlie Kirk would have a fucking.
Why is he attacking Charlie Kirk?
Well, he had nothing, as you see by him.
So,
Charlie Kirk would have had whatever. He gave up on it.
He just went, oh, that guy goes mega viral every day. Maybe I shouldn't bring him up.
You know the real problem with these busing laws, the Jim Crow laws back in the 50s and 60s? Black people could own cars, Just get a fucking car, even though places wouldn't hire you, lady.
So this next clip, I had a lot higher hopes just by the title.
Oh, okay. Way to sabotage it, but
No, it's great in a different way. But I, going in, thought it was going to be something else.
Interesting. Well, what is it, Craig? Why don't you tell us?
Standalone fruit.
Yeah. No, it's not exactly like the great Fez Whatley.
No.
This is more Chris D'Elia. So this is what this podcast is. I guess similar to the premise of Bill Burr, the way Bill Burr's podcast used to be. It's kind of like a comedian looking for ideas, basically. So this is just him riffing. And you know what a crazy thing that Chris thought of is fruits exist.
I text my tour manager, hope there's coffee there, and he said, yeah, I got it for you. And I was like, hell yeah. Now what my tour manager also sets up in my green room is, here are a few things. Turkey. There's usually salmon there with some rice. Animal crackers for some reason. I never asked for it.
Those are for your dates. Would you like an appetizer, ma'am? A little something to get you started. Now, someone has to get this tape to Tom Segura. You see how this is not relatable material, right?
It's way less annoying.
Well, here's a list of things I demand in my green room. There's no comedy to it, right? He's just listing items in his fucking green room.
There's mustard, because sometimes my son comes and likes mustard. And
is that all he's giving his son? Is you're here? Here's some mustard.
Just sprayed in your mouth like the Goofy movie where the kid eats Cheese Whiz. That's Chris D'Elia's kid with mustard.
Fruit.
That was an obscure reference, and I feel like it bombed. I'm sorry, everyone.
Fruit, and there's some fruit. Okay. Now, over the time, my tour manager has noticed that whenever there's a fruit plate, I eat all the pineapples. Okay, mostly. Then I go to the mangoes or whatever the fuck. Then the strawberries are always last. Go fuck yourself.
Imagine this poor tour manager. He has to put this together. Like, I'm noticing Chris prefers the mangoes. This is this poor bastard's job. He seems to be intrigued by the mangoes, but not so much. For some reason, he ignores the apples. I don't know why that is, but I'm going to make note of that.
Strawberries are amazing. Fine, that's fine, but go fuck yourself. That's how I do it. And so he only got this time pineapples, sliced pineapples, and I look at it and I go, good. Who wants to waste all that cantaloupe? Hey, also boysenberries. Fuck you.
Nice. Finally, they're going to get taken down a peg.
I've been waiting for someone to say this.
Oh, it is about time. Most people don't have the balls because big boysenberry is obviously going to come in and squash him like a bug. But Chris doesn't care. Chris has been canceled. He doesn't care what repercussions he faces here by going after boysenberries.
Ever chooses boysenberries, and don't call something one letter off from poison berries.
Nice. Yes, that's so true.
These are boysenberries. What? Just boysenberries. They're boysenberries. Oh, all right. Okay. That's
back
how.
Back to the drawing board, Seinfeld.
He was pantomiming how to eat boysenberries.
I get it.
That was
Jesus Christ. He goes on. He goes on. I didn't include it. I probably should have. He goes, what are these dog shit melons? Jesus Christ, Chris.
Oh my God.
Just talk about the news. What are you doing? I try to get through to people. Have someone, like if you criticize Craig or Casey Day or whatever, I would sound like this if I was alone. Because you don't know if anything you're saying is working. Just have a pair of ears there, for God's sake, Chris.
Did he bring up mustard gas apples?
I don't know.
Next, this is our last clip. It's a long one, but it's him on technology.
Oh, yeah. This is a delusional man who, again, has no one there to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No. Electricity grid. Robotaxi. Robotaxi, Robovan, and Robot. Here we go. Tesla reveals 20 cybercabs at We Robot event. Says you'll be able to buy one for less than 30 grand. First of all, I don't know about that. We'll see. Tesla has finally revealed its cybercab, and it looks like a smaller, slicker, two-seater Cybertruck. Yeah.
This is a podcast?
The flashy We Robot. Yeah. This is just like the movie iRobot.
He's just reading the article.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
You said it, man.
In production by 2027. Here's the thing.
So this is funny. I'm realizing I think I might have fucked up the timestamp that we clicked. I picked the wrong spot. But like, it's funny to just pick a random spot and hear him be like, oh, "This is crazy, huh?"
this clip's 3 minutes long, so there's a chance what you.
Okay, maybe that's why. Let's let it keep going because I'm interested in this. It's in the right section clearly because he does talk about technology and he's like, he's got nothing on this, but he's hoping genius sparks at some point in this article.
They keep saying how like watch out, technology
here it is, yeah.
is getting exponential. It's nuts. You know, in 5 years it's going to be. They keep saying it. Hey, dude, when? The iPhone.
Chris, how are we communicating?
No.
Chris, you're in Los Angeles. I'm in Boston watching you on a different podcast. Technology's pretty fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
It's why Craig's in a different state than me, and we're talking to each other.
Like we're in the same room, baby.
And we're broadcasting to other people. Like that's pretty wild. So Craig's gonna go on. Craig. Well, you know,
hey.
proclivity's one and the same, I suppose.
No,
Chris likes him a little older, but Chris is like grasping at straws and just like what to talk about here, where he's like, fucking technology. Actually, there's been no innovation. This is the angle he's taking. That innovation hasn't happened.
The last 5 years has been crazy.
Hey, when?
You know what? I do give credit to Chris in that, like, it's actually become kind of an annoying podcast topic when people are like, AI is going to take over the world. They were talking about it in that Two Bears episode that I listened to, where Bert's like, it's like, the better AI gets, like, we're not going to need people. And that keeps coming up on podcasts. So I do give Chris credit for being like, actually, technology sucks. And it hasn't advanced at all. Like, the rotary phone and what we have now are pretty much the same.
Send an email sometimes in a certain place in my house, you know? Dude, when? LASIK is still kind of LASIK. You could still go blind from it, you know? You're not gonna.
No, I'm with him there.
Can they cure cancer? Do they have it under wraps? Can they? Let's go. How about short people? Why are they so short?
Okay, so this is just a man with nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I still piss out of my cock? Get with it.
Oh,
now this is, for Rob Saul, this is childish. Where he's just in a room alone, has no idea what. And I'll say this about Chris. Like, of the episodes I've listened to, like, I listened to this whole thing. We don't have a ton of clips from this. There are moments, like, where from this episode, I could kind of get the audience that likes him. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, I know a couple guys where I'm like, they would find this funny, probably, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, he gets into rants like this where it's like, well, what even is technology? Because I still piss out of my penis. What does that even mean, Chris? What are you talking about? You're losing your mind. Bring your wife in. Broadcast with someone. So they could be like, huh? Chris, I have an iPhone in my pocket. I can Google anything in the world right now and have it at my fingertips.
Oh, God. This guy's like a nutbag.
Was that the end of the clip? Oh, there we go.
No.
Guys are just walking around bald? Now, I'm talking about, I know there's hair.
No, actually. We've kind of cured that.
Take. Hey, it's 2024. That should be an app. And the hue I want. I got to sit in a chair. Tattoos? Huh? 2024. I should walk into a spot like I'm a character from fucking, what's the shooting game?
Well, you're really going to have to be more specific.
Warzone? Is that what it is?
Warzone? Who's he looking at?
Put the.
I think he might have a producer,
on you.
which that's even more crazy. Let the producer talk or something.
If the producer's there, he's a complete psycho.
It's criminal if the producer's there. Step in, help this man.
Jesus.
He's unraveling. He's talking about why do short people exist, and blaming that on technology.
On my phone, Hughes, making them blue. I'm making them blue today. Why is it not that yet? People are like, oh yeah, well, you're going to see the crazy changes in 10 years. They were saying that 10 years ago. Still got cans. Still got to grow my own hair out.
Grow my own hair. Like I think this is how Chris's mentality and why he has the audience he does and everything, where it's like, I think the people that relate to him are retarded.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I'm still growing my own hair out. And the people that laugh at that are like, hey, that's offbeat. You wouldn't, that's not how people talk. That's how little babies talk. So it's cute that this 40-year-old man is saying that, I guess.
That was the end of that fucking abomination. I'm just really looking forward. The next time we probably talk about him will be our favorite episode of the year.
Yeah, it's Christmas Spectacular.
With his wife.
I'll tell you the problem with that, though, is I don't know if we'll ever top the Christmas song shit that he did.
No, unless he does it again.
It's going to be tough to top that, yeah. But I don't know. Every once in a while, I like to check in on Chris D'Elia because I don't think it's his fault. Like, every time we put up a Chris D'Elia clip, people will find it that are like D'Elia fans, I guess, and they'll be like, hey, you're jealous. This video has way less views than Chris's videos, so you're jealous of him. It's not even really a criticism of Chris. It's a criticism of podcasting alone, where you sound like that. Just have anyone else in there. Let the producer say something so that he can be like, what do you mean short people exist still? How is that a criticism of technology? What are you talking about?
So we have Steel Toe left.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'll
Yep.
tell you what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
Thinking I might ask Casey Day if he could hop on for a live stream one day this week.
Oh.
Because I might have Steel Toe stuff I want to cover
On top of this?
on top of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we're at about, it's like 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it's almost 3 hours. Let me go through we have 3 super chats left.
All right. Let's go
Joseph
through that.
Kane, $2 super sticker. Thank you, sir. Hacko Burrow, $2. Respect to Craig for the sweatshirt. Thanks.
What's the sweatshirt?
It's a obscure hardcore band from like 2006.
Nice.
Kind of surprised he knew that. Dang Lizard, 2 pounds. Why do comedians try to write jokes live on the air?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll tell you, I like the way Sam Morrill and Mark Norman do it, where they set it up and say, this is something I'm working on. Is this anything, basically?
Bill Burr used to at least be able to do it on his show from the emails or whatever.
Because Burr's show is very naturally him talking. And I think a guy like Chris sees that, saw what Bill Burr did, and was like, oh, I can do that. I think he just has a tough time. He's not the same type of comedian. That's not even a criticism of Chris. Like, that's very hard to do. There's a handful of guys. Even like Tim Dillon, I think, is aware. The reason like Ben was good on Tim Dillon's show is like you had someone laughing. Like, just acknowledgement of his jokes, you know?
Right.
Like, you need something there, a sounding board of some kind. And Chris doesn't have that. So, like I said, I don't even necessarily blame him. It's just insanity to listen to.
Mark, $5. Mike, you mean to tell me the Havre de Grace 6 get free ad spots and you won't give me a goddamn Phil Hendry episode of Why Are You Laughing?
I didn't say it was free, my friend.
It sure wasn't.
I don't know where they came up with the price, but it was all worked out without me. So, oh, but Mark, shout out to Mark. Yes, Mark, if you want a Phil Hendry episode within the next 5 years, we'll get you that Phil Hendry episode. I promise you.
I also got sent, I don't know if you want to look at this at all, a Hackverse survey.
Okay. Yeah, we can end with this. Casey Dave, you're still in the chat. Let me know if you're able to do a live stream at some point this week.
So, best documentarian.
Okay.
Citizen M, Frank Sheckler, or Sheet Shitterson.
I don't know enough of their work to answer that question.
Neither do I. I'm going to pick Sheet Shitterson just for the name.
I heard his was very good. The start of the Dabbleverse.
Best Clipper. I feel like we can stop after the first one. Doom.
I gotta go with Doom because he'll yell at me.
Doom. Misery Loves Clips. My Lost Interest. Natclo 2.0.
Oh.
So Thorough. Joe Burrow.
Oh, I don't know. I would go either Doom or My Lost Interest. We'll go with our boy Doom.
Yes. Best Show. Misery Loves Company. Nobody Likes Onions. Uncle Rico. Tukey. Tukey Soup, or Who Are These Podcasts? Or Other.
I feel like we gotta go other, no?
Other.
That's us.
Blind Mike Project. I'll type that in. Okay. Worst show.
All right.
Catalano TV.
Okay.
Gratcast with Geno Bisconte.
Okay.
Rock Bottom with Ray DeVito.
Well, I was going to have clips from that show. David Collins was on, and Ray took it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Steel Toe Morning Show or the Stuttering John Show? Or Other.
Stuttering John.
Stuttering John. Biggest fall. Biggest fall off from 2023.
Oh, interesting.
Casey Armstrong.
Okay.
April Anderson, formerly Imholt.
Yeah, that feels like
Cardiff Electric's YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
ISO Doe. I mean, that has to be the answer. Aaron Imholt, Joey C, Ray DeVito, Shuley Network, or Other.
Honestly, I'm going to go Aaron of that group.
It's a big fall.
I thought of him as a normal human being a year ago.
That's true. Hackverse MVP or best utility player. I feel like this is an easy answer.
I assumed I would be on one of these.
We'll see.
I thought that's why we were doing this.
I don't know. I didn't look through it yet. Hackverse MVP, Mr. Kill Everything, Vince the Lawyer, Ray DeVito, Chad Zumock, Joey C, Cardiff, Stevie Lou, Stuttering John.
Cardiff.
For sure. Chatter of the Year. Here's a good one. We have to write it in.
We have to write it in?
Yes.
I don't know.
Penis Wrinkle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go with our boy Penis Wrinkle. He's faced a lot of adversity this week.
Penis Wrinkle.
He's the cops at his door.
Penis Wrinkle 12.
I guess so, yeah.
Worst chatter.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who can I see on the screen right now?
Put Craig Coney.
I'll put Craig Coney. Okay. Craig.
Ironhead.
I'll put Ironhead in quotes. Ironhead.
Unless there's a category just worst, and we'll save that for that.
There we go. Who do you hate most, or what do you hate most about the Hackverse? Super chat readings, AI super chats, grifting, works, or other.
Well, I have an answer. Just randomly put AI super chat ratings. It's not like that really bugs me or anything,
but best of the smaller shows.
I hope we're not on this.
We're not.
Okay.
BYB, OJ in the Morning, Pat Dixon, Potato Soup, Ray DeVito Show, Rock Bottom, Ski Mask Collective, Win by 2.
OJ.
Is Win by 2 that guy that went at HACKRIDE pretty hard?
I have no idea.
Best MLC co-host: Chad, Felicia, Liam, Mr. Kill Everything, Ray, the Sorcerer.
Who could possibly give a shit?
I'll just go with Chad.
Yeah, sure. Go Chad.
Worst MLB.
By the way, Pat Dixon blew me off this week.
Really?
Yeah. He asked me for a couple. He's like, "Hey, can you come on?" And we tried to I kept apologizing because I was like, "Sorry, my schedule was weird." We kept moving it, and then it was supposed to be Wednesday at 3:30 or something like that. So I messaged him at 3:24. I haven't gotten a link. I said, "Is there a link?" And no response. And then at 3:30 something, I'm like, "So no show?" And then at 3:45, I was just like, "Hey, sorry, I don't know what happened." And then like late that night, he messages me and is like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that. You think we could do a different day?" And I was like, "No." I'm not gonna sit at my computer again like an asshole.
I do not. Best source of shitverse info. Dabblers Anonymous, Hackverse Anonymous, Shuli's Anonymous, Spurtopia, Discord, or Steel Toe Boring Show.
Dabblers Anonymous is the one I go to most, I guess.
Hackverse Villain, Aaron Imholt, Stuttering John, Stevie Lou, Rob Saul, ISO Doe, Vince the Lawyer, Other.
Stuttering John, I suppose.
Aaron's close second.
Yeah.
Hackverse Story of the Year. Aaron Imholt reveals
How long is this? I thought we were going to end the show.
It's almost done. It's almost done.
Okay.
Hackverse Story of the Year. Aaron Imholt reveals he's a cuckold, gets divorced. Aaron Imholt charged with revenge porn. Shuli Network original producer ISO Doe pleads guilty to child porn. Levy throws a drink at Brendan. Stuttering John's I'll come to your house tour.
That was not bad. That's probably second, but I got to go Aaron Imholt cuckold.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, let's hear him.
DabbleCon 2 porn bombs their own live stream and attempt to nuke MLC channel. Rocco insults Stuttering John face to face. Stevie Lou attacked by a guy with nunchucks. Compound Media goes out of business. Merger was censored.
No. Aaron Imholt reveals he's a cuckold.
Who annoys you the most? All right, good. We're still not on the list. Brennan, Cardiff, Joey C, Ray DeVito, Carl, Rob Saul, Shuli, Stuttering John.
Rob Saul.
Definitely.
Yeah, easily.
Recency bias, possibly. All right, cool.
Glad we did that.
What fun. I thought there was going to be more.
More? That was 40 minutes.
That's true.
Well, yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that. Yeah, so we'll see if we can do a separate Steel Toe show this week because there's a lot to get to and not enough time. So, guys, I guess that just means we didn't hit the goal this week.
Damn.
You know? But what you can do, if you feel bad that we didn't hit the goal, I'll tell you where to put your dollars. Go to J37SHOP.com. Support our boy Joe from Virginia.
It's
right. His eBay store. He's got all kinds of goodies, whether it be DVDs, Blu-rays, collectibles, video games, all kinds of electronics, all kinds of good stuff on there. So check that out. See if there's anything that catches your eye, and use promo code BLINDMIKE at checkout in order to save 10% off of your order. So J37shop.com. We never get sponsors on this show, and we still really don't have one. We have a patron that felt bad for us and threw a few bucks. So support this man, for God's sake.
Yeah, go buy something.
Yeah, J37shop.com, promo code BLINDMIKE. We appreciate you guys checking that out. And then when you're done with that, you can go to blindmike.net, support this show, HackRideTheDemon.com, support HackRide. Did we ever get an answer? Are they taking calls tonight?
They're both in the chat. Neither have answered. And Electra's putting all the links in the chat. Verygoodshow.org is back up and running. So
wow, that's big news.
It's huge.
Yeah,
huge news.
Yeah, so do that. Support all of our shows and sponsors and everything like that. We appreciate you. Support DJ Electra. She's got a channel. Everyone's got a channel.
That's right.
So, and David Collins' show. We'll talk about this after.
Okay.
David Collins, despite vague threats, will be on this channel starting in November. I think the first. Wait a minute. I just realized. Is his first day going to be the day after the election?
What's the first day?
The first Wednesday of November.
Yes, it is.
Guys, here your election coverage will be with David Collins. So David Collins is doing Drive Time with David Collins here on this channel. He did a test show. If you want to go check it out, he's working out the kinks. He's thinking of new ideas. So check out on the David Collins 30-minute half-hour show channel. But he will be on this YouTube channel once a week, Wednesday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, I believe. No, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. So check out David Collins. I should have plugged him earlier in the show. Ray DeVito was pretty weird with him. So maybe we'll get our hands on that for next week or something. But I don't know. Until then, I always say it's good in podcasting to really limp to the finish. And I think we've accomplished that today.
Nailed it.
Have a lot of laughs and then go out with people wondering, is this ever going to end?
I had a bunch of people say, no calls tonight. No calls.
Oh, I could have sworn he tweeted that out.
I don't know.
Well, then I sound psychotic. They're like, why is he saying that? I'm sorry, guys. I thought they tweeted it out.
HACKRIDE Studios is available this week.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be in chats with Casey Day. Maybe we'll do a separate Steel Toe stream because I want to talk about some of the stuff going on with Patrick Melton, and we don't have time to get into that now. So, have I plugged myself enough?
More than Rob Saul plugs his uncle's ass.
Heyo, goodbye, folks.
And we have a mean transition.
Hey, it's Boogie. Sappers clear the way. Everyone all the way.
Now, this is very interesting. Now, really, ladies, if you're listening, and men, and everybody in between.
If I tell you you've got a homicide, buddy, you've got a homicide.
I hope to hear from you soon.
I am proud to own the Trumpy bear, and I will always be proud to be an American.
Until then, have yourself a great day, and as always,
there's no cum on my mic.
Rock on.
Stop the baloney, huh? What kind of statement is that?
I wrote it. One of my favorite players to cover when he was here was Mike Vrabel. Tell me Mike Vrabel's story.
Whatever, dude. I keep it cool at the gym.
Piss on him. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. All right. Stop, my belly hurts.
My dad was in the military.
What's that, sir?
Can you please kindly F off, please?
If a person is on a bridge threatening to jump, how do we know that he wants help?
Money, 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 money. Fuck, please.
Anyway, God bless America.